wish they'd let us play music up here. You know, I really wish they'd let us play music up here. Make these long trips go by a lot faster.
It's against regulations.
Yeah, I never understood that.
They just don't want us having a dance party when a proximity alert goes off.
See, that's a dumb reason. Because we'd already be on our feet, ready for action.
Hello, welcome to Shore Leave number 4 on Friday the 13th. There will be only 2 Friday the 13th this year, if you were curious. The next one will be in October.
Ooh.
Right?
Well, that seems even more appropriate then.
It is.
It's not on Halloween by any chance, is it?
No.
Strike. That's
What?
dyslexia you got there, because it's 31 is Halloween.
Well, yeah. But Halloween must be on a Friday sometimes, though.
Yes. And if you have dyslexia,
Occasionally.
you could call it Friday the 13th.
That would be like a double whammy, though, if you had the 13th and Halloween.
So today, I
night of
have
ghosts.
Scotty R37 and Pleasant Valley Picker today. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great, Joel. I'm it's always a great day when Friday rolls around.
I am absolutely smashing.
Smashing, not smashed?
That's true. And, I may have had a few Chardonnays. What of it?
Okay. I am drinking my tea right now. It's a little too early here to start hitting the sauce.
I'm
Absolutely smashing.
I never get tired of seeing Trelane.
Me neither. And hello to you on the panel, Pleasant Valley Picker.
I popped in
You
just
say,
to see if anybody was there.
Happy Friday the 13th. And Mega Cropper's here too. He says, I'm hearing season 6 of Yellowstone has gone. Brokeback Mountain. That sounds fun. That was a good movie.
Hi, Mega Cropper. That's another movie I have never seen yet. Boy, I got a lot of movies to catch up on.
So do I. You telling me? I have 400. I don't know.
Wow.
Some of them are also TV shows. I don't know which is which.
Well, yeah, that all kind of adds up. I'm kind of glad that I've been watching, media for years and years, because just think of kids that are like born, today. It's like they have to be like 200 years old to watch everything.
Oh.
I mean, there wouldn't be enough years in a lifetime to watch all the good stuff now, because there's just so much of it.
Well, and that is why with the modern sort of field of entertainment, there is too much good stuff that is available from the history of filmed entertainment to get your undies in a bunch over the stuff that you don't like. Seek out something that you love. That's the good way.
And that's why kids have parents to help them prioritize what to watch.
What did I hear today? It was like I was going through a news feed, and it was saying that by the time, if your children are born like within the last year or 3, then by the time they are, say, 16 or so, Taylor Swift is going to be classic rock.
That's terrifying.
I don't think Taylor Swift will ever be classic rock. She's the wrong decade.
She's going to be old. No, but the thing is, like Nirvana isn't rock. Like, it's grunge, and it's considered classic rock.
Well, not by all of us.
By the radio stations.
Well, the radio stations. Come on, Scotty. The radio stations these days are pathetic.
But they're the ones that dictate what everything is. It's the same way as all the time.
I never listen to radio anymore.
You are aware of the invention called radio, though, yeah?
Oh, yeah, but radio used to be great. Like FM stations back in the 70s, they'd play deep cuts off of albums, right? Not just the same. I mean, you put a classic rock station on now, you're probably going to hear Stairway to Heaven 500 times a week, right? They keep rotating the same playlist over and over. At least
grunge is a subset of rock. So it is rock and roll. Taylor Swift is not.
Yeah, I'd say
it's
grunge.
Like pop or something.
Grunge is definitely rock, yeah.
Tony Stark.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
And Admiral Teague says it's time for the gender swap remake of Brokeback Mountain.
Hi, Admiral.
That is an idea. And Tony Stark asks if he can have a link. Yes, you can. I will send it to you right now.
Yeah, it seems like gender swapping has become a big thing in our world, hasn't it? Not that I want to pick that out as a topic necessarily, though.
Well,
It's
it
kind
could be a good thing or a bad thing. It
of.
just depends on whoever writes the movie. If they write it with respect for everybody, then everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't,
Trying to
but
think of the
aren't there
last time a movie was like that. There
Ocean's
was respect.
Ocean's 8?
Oh, that's
Or
Ocean's
funny.
respect for no one, like South Park. That would be, one or the other.
But
Uh,
sometimes things are made and they're not necessarily made for a 4-quadrant audience. They're made for a specific niche group, and you shouldn't get mad at that.
Who's getting mad at anything?
no, if I don't like it,
Oh, don't make me say She-Hulk again.
I just don't watch it.
I'm not getting mad at She-Hulk. I didn't
No,
watch
I-
it.
But I was
They're
thinking
not
about
here.
I was thinking about She-Hulk the other day, and I was like, if you went into She-Hulk thinking that it was going to be like another Captain America, I think you're the one who's wrong.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
Okay,
I
man.
generally tune in the reviews from channels
I
on
didn't read
here
them.
who
Mhm.
the folks that I trust.
Right. Right. Exactly.
like a certain helmeted angry fellow, and
Yes, I love Doomcock. I love Codburn Times, and
critical drinker. I
Critical
watch a
Drinker's
lot.
good too. I haven't
He's
really
funny.
listened to him too much.
Mr. Brown's
Lately.
Alliance is also
Mr.
rather
Brown's
pleasant.
Alliance. Yes,
Hey, buddy.
absolutely.
You know what I like?
And-
Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Oh no,
Yeah.
what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, have you ever watched sometimes the critical drinker will do something on a specific theme. I can't remember the exact titles right now, but there was one where he sort of picked out something about how the cultural legacy was important. I wish I could remember the title. I'd have to go and search for it, but I can.
No, I can't
always,
help you with that. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It doesn't have to be a topic today, but it's something that, yeah, maybe I'll take a quick look here. And continue, please, with
Okay.
whatever.
Mega Cropper says, I can honestly say I ain't seen that propaganda.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like propaganda. It was just a movie about a couple of cowboys who wanted to be a couple, I guess. It wasn't really like all gay, or maybe it was, but I don't know.
So you're saying it might have had a gay theme, but it wasn't woke.
It wasn't woke.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hello to Mega Cropper and Bird of Prey 5, Kapla.
Kapla.
And hello also to Mr. Brown Alliance. He says, ahoy, shipmates.
Ahoy, sir.
Ahoy.
And Mega Cropper says the drinker's been on Brown's channel. Oh yes, I did see that one. That was a cool one. They talked about Star Wars, I think. Yeah, it was a good show.
The drinkers actually popped up on a few channels. I saw there was one channel. I can't remember the name of the channel because it's not something I sub to because it's generally not anything I would be interested in. But they did interview the drinker one time, and I think it was almost an hour long, a discussion where he basically talked about himself and gave us his whole backstory, so to speak, and it was really quite interesting.
Mhm.
Ahoy,
And
Tony.
hello,
Oh, yes.
hey Tony.
The
I hear you
actress
never-
wants to play war with me.
I hear those little kitties in the background, so hello to your kittens too.
They're getting fed right now. So
Good. So I know that there are people who are superstitious about today. I'm not really. I broke a mirror last year around 9 months ago, and what happened? I met some really cool people on the internet. So I'm not really too much worried about superstitions. I'll walk under ladders, and the spirit of that led me to learning that there used to be something called a 13 Club. And this was a secret society created in 1880 by Captain William Fowler. He wanted to defy superstitions. So he made this club that met on the 13th day every month, and they would sit 13 people at a table in a dining room, 13. Just like, well, the superstition for that, it came from when Jesus died after the 13th guest was Judas, who of course betrayed him, and also because of the Norse mythology where the 13th guest was Loki.
Wow.
So
Nice research there, Jill.
thanks. This
That's all.
13
Oh,
this 13 club also had people walk under a ladder and break a mirror, and
Wow.
nobody in the club ever died or even got sick.
Do they have black cats to cross their path?
You know, I don't know. That is all the information I have on that club. But that would be a good idea. It seems like a really fun club. I would probably join it.
Yeah, that would be entertaining every month.
But they only had 13 members. So kind of exclusive. It still took them a year to get that many people to join.
Wow.
oh, if that don't beat all. Sorry, I'm just waking up, so I don't have anything prepared.
That's fine. Good morning, Tony Stark. I'm just glad you're here. You can just hang out. Friday the 13th isn't unluckier than any other day, but it does change the way people behave. Apparently, they drive more carefully. So I'll be on the lookout to see if that's true, because people have been driving like insane people for the past 3 years. So whatever you think about Neil deGrasse Tyson, he said a funny thing about the superstition people have that often leads to the absence of the 13th floor on many buildings. And
Yeah, some buildings don't have a 13th floor, do they?
that's true. And it was that part of the lecture that stuck with me. And I don't even agree with everything in that lecture, but I do agree with this. So I did clip this.
Fear of numbers. Don't get me started, okay? Again, 21st century America, people who make the iPod, people who launched the Saturn V rocket. This is the country we live in, except 80% of all the buildings on Broadway in Manhattan. I could have done it for any street, but I did it for Broadway. 80% have panels that look like this. There is no 13th floor. Not only was that true in 80% of the buildings in New York, it's true of this hotel. So what does it say for our future when we have people afraid of a number? What does that mean? I don't know, but it scares the hell out of me. Not only that, we fear negative numbers. Why do you have to go into a hotel, go into an elevator of a tall building and it's 53432 lobby SSB SSB. Can I buy a vowel, please? I don't know what the hell these things are. They're afraid to go negative. Just say -1, -2, -3. People are afraid to do that. They're afraid to do that on financial ledgers. The number is in parentheses. It's like, what's your problem? We got a symbol for this. It's called negative. So I worry that too many of us fear numbers for the future of America.
That was great. He can be an interesting fellow at times, can't he?
I go to my university sometimes has speakers that I can go to.
Oh, cool.
And
wow, lucky
just
you.
Special people. You know, Bill Nye went, and that other guy. Then
Bill Nye, the science guy?
Yeah. And
I know all about his origins. I could tell you about sometime.
Mm-hmm. And Michio Kaku showed up, and lots of people go to the school and talk, and they always just have something prepared that they present. But Neil deGrasse Tyson was the best out of all of them because he always just had something unique to say.
He's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah,
I got some of Michio Kaku's lectures on DVD back when I went to tour the University of Connecticut, because I was perusing schools and stuff and looking around and seeing what was up, and I recorded. And then I had my old professors give me some too. And sometimes I like to just put them on as background noise.
Well, that's pretty great. I do like him because he's really into futurism.
Mm-hmm. I like futurism.
Can you put a link in the chat or the private chat for this person's channel?
Yeah, put it in the private chat for sure. I'll share that.
Yeah,
No
because I
problem.
don't think I'm familiar with them.
With who?
So-
Michio Kaku? Or
Yeah, I've heard the name, but I don't think I've ever heard any of the any of the lectures.
he will beat us to a warp drive long before Elon Musk will.
Mm.
Yeah, probably. Euler Greg. Hello, Euler
Oh.
Greg.
Hey,
Oh.
Euler Greg.
Cheers, Euler.
Mega Cropper says there's only 2 genders. Get the chromosome chart out.
Yeah, you either got XX or XY.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I think too. It's like you're born one or the other, and no matter how much surgery you have, you still got those chromosomes.
Well, yeah, and you're free
Just
to
a s-
call yourself whatever you
Yeah,
you
just-
are, you feel you are, you believe you're born as. That's fine. But
Yeah.
Well, and
if
as
you're
my
you
philosophy-
visit a doctor, they got to treat you based on what chromosomes you got.
My
Yeah.
philosophy is live and let live. So I feel free to live however
Yeah,
you want. And when
true,
it comes to your
true.
sexuality, the only reason that your sexuality means anything to me is whether or not you want to have sex with me. And if you don't, then it doesn't matter to me.
That's fair enough. Hello in the chat to JD Lewis.
Hey, JD.
Hey,
He
JD.
says, "Hola, all happy Friday the 13th, everybody." Yeah,
Yes.
it is a very happy Friday the 13th.
Oh, by the way, Jill, I found the Critical Drinker video that I wanted to mention. And it's only just over 7.5 minutes long, so it's not that it's not a great time to watch. It's called "Why the Past Matters" that he put up a couple of years ago. It's
Sounds
really
like one I probably did watch.
it's a really good video. He pretty much nails, why it is important to protect our cultural legacy, and how in our current times, some of the past might be getting erased for censorship reasons, and
Oh
that
yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
why physical media is so important.
I love
Yep,
the
yep.
physical media. Yeah, got full shelves. Jeez, oh, I haven't woken up yet myself.
That's okay. Mr. Brown Lion says Drinker has been on his channel 3 times. That's really cool.
Oh, cool! I'll have to check that out.
And Admiral Teague says Critical Drinker accomplishes too much to be all that drunk.
I speak from experience personally on that accord. Take it from a real drunk. You don't get much done.
Yeah,
Well,
if
that's
you're gonna-
why they call it functional alcoholism.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Trouble is, you're
Well-
not that functional while you're in the middle of the drinking session. Usually,
Well, unless you're an Uber driver, I disagree.
Oh, Mega Cropper is saying the opposite of what's happening. The captain is fuming.
didn't know
That's
he
not what
smoked.
I've been seeing. He's been walking on cloud 9 lately.
Eric.
Ervik Saunders here. Hey.
Yeah, well, I think the captain, or not the captain. I was going to mention the drinker. I think he just put another one of his novels out a month or two back.
Good morning,
See,
Goat.
Hey, Goatfather. Yeah, that's the thing that I admire the Drinker for the most is his books. Now, I haven't read any of them, but just in terms of being able to publish your own sort of library, that's what I really like.
And he seems to be like having a pretty successful career at it too, because he's got a whole series. I can't remember the character's name. It's kind of like I guess, sort of a thriller kind of,
Kind of like a spy
genre.
Jack Reacher
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that
I
kind of
haven't-
genre.
I've been interested in trying to read that, but I never get around to it.
Yeah, I think he's probably got like half a dozen books out by now. I think he must be doing pretty well at it.
I saw a pretty funny tweet that had the definition or what, because there was the Glass Onion movie, the Ryan Johnson movie that just came out.
Yeah. I think the
And-
drinker did a review on that one, didn't he?
He
That was
did, but
pretty-
there was
that was
a
funny.
tweet that was an explanation because Glass Onion is a Beatles song that was basically making fun of people who overanalyzed Beatles songs. That's what Glass Onion is. That's what it's derived from.
Oh, there's-
And then immediately underneath it was an overanalysis of Glass Onion by the drinker. And I was like, hey, juxtaposition. That's funny.
Of course, knowing the drinker, that could be intentional humor too.
Or sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
True.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
what Rennie
so-
McGreed who said that.
The
Rene the Great? No, I thought it was Freud.
Magritte, the painter.
Possibly.
The Belgian painter.
I thought it was Freud.
Could be. Sometimes
I could be absolutely
I miss my
wrong.
reference
I often
points
am.
at times. I can't remember everything.
So it turns out the Critical Drinkers books are called Ryan Drake.
That's it.
That's Ryan Drake.
I wonder if Drake off the Prisoner series was the inspiration for the name.
And his pen name is Will Jordan.
Right.
Or it could be his real name.
That's his real
I don't
name.
know.
His real name is William, actually.
I don't pay enough attention. I just know he's cute.
He mentioned it on one of the interviews. He gave his real actual name. And
Admiral Teague
was
says
William.
there's no 13th floor on most of Wall Street because the Great Depression started on Wall Street on November 13th.
Makes sense. A lot of people attempted to fly that day.
Yeah, that was a
Didn't
bad day.
succeed. Hello, Franco Walker.
Hey, Franco.
Wonderful
Franco.
to see you. Franco
Is
Walker.
Franco new? I don't remember Franco.
Yeah, he's
being here
new.
before.
He's from I've seen him on the Mr. Brown Lions chat.
Oh, cool.
And hello to Pop Culture Curator. I hope you're having a good day.
Hey, Pop.
Hey, Pop.
Hello, Eugene Bird.
Snortopoopus. sister.
Where
Eugene.
Where B, Snortopoopus, and Matt G?
Matt
I
G.
don't know.
Matt G just
Oh.
arrived.
Sweet. Oh, there's one of them. And
Hey,
Scogli
Admiral.
also.
Hey,
Hey,
Stokely.
Admiral Teague. I'd send Admiral Teague a link, but I don't know how to contact him. Because
I'm just gonna-
he doesn't respond. His Twitter doesn't work.
I'm just gonna
Anyway.
get some more tea. Be back in a minute, guys.
All right. Scogli says he has a 3-trilogy set of 9 books. And he's hilarious. Yes, he is. Eugene Bird is absolutely right. Critical Drinker is hilarious. And hello, Matt G. He says, Jill. And so I checked to see if anything intersected Friday the 13th with science. So the first thing I saw was psychology. So apparently if you are afraid of Friday the 13th, you're suffering from one of 2 different, very difficult to pronounce phobias. You either have parascavadecatriophobia or brigatriskadecaphobia.
Piscatophilia is, ironically enough, the love and an enamored worship of the number 13.
You just know that off the top of your head. That is, you really are incredible. Also, we had the Apollo 13 mission that didn't go too well, but it didn't go so badly really either. That craft launched at 13:13 Central Standard Time on April 11th, 1970. So I'm not really into numerology, but if you take apart that date and add up those numbers, you also get 13. Then the explosion that damaged Apollo 13 occurred on April the 13th. The oxygen tanks blew up, they lost electricity, and obviously we're losing power. So even with all those 13s and even with that explosion, the crew actually turned out okay. It was very dire, but they landed back on Earth safely, thanks to the craft having a lunar module lifeboat. And there's actually a movie about it that's supposed to be good. I haven't seen it.
It is good.
Yeah, it's on my list already, but I'll just have to get around to it. But I guess really we'll find out how lucky or unlucky Friday the 13th is on April the 13th, 2029, when asteroid MN4 will fly past Earth very close, according to estimates. It will be only 18,600 miles above the ground, and for comparison, satellites are 22,000 miles above us.
Well, that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, the asteroid will be so bright that it'll look like a 3rd magnitude star. So this thing is likely not going to hit us, but we will definitely notice it. It is 320 meters wide, so it's definitely large enough to be catastrophic for a country. So it's pretty lucky it won't miss us. It will miss us.
Will miss us. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I make the joke I'm voting for the asteroid, but
You
I wouldn't.
could.
Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah. In this case, there's a chance.
There is.
I'll just have to get Dr. Evil on the horn and make sure he's got a giant laser to destroy it on it if it gets too close.
That would be good. I'd appreciate the help with that.
Ooh, a mandolin.
Yeah, I have an alarm for 12:30, but I don't know why.
All right.
Why do I set alarms but not label them?
Just so you know what time it is.
Maybe.
It's too early to volunteer my laser, okay? Fine.
You need to order him some coffee. And he can fire it up.
If I am a bit quiet, I'm currently multitasking. I'm writing the routine for the blind date that I sent Jarvis on with the woke AI.
Jarvis? Oh, right. Okay, so you're scripting something for your next show. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The woke AI, I found out its designation. Its name is Karen or Karen. Stands for a no-wall, redundant eavesdropping nitpicker.
They actually named it Karen.
Well, no, he did.
Okay. I thought maybe the people working on the program.
he's making a parody based on what's coming next in artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's
to a social
creepy.
network near you.
I mean, Doomcock was going on and on about that the other day. Mm-hmm. Wow, I can tell he's pretty upset about it. It is kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. But at first, they're really just going to use it internally before it ever is imposed upon.
Well, from what I've gathered,
private industry.
It is a Department of Defense project that is going to mediate communication within the branches of the service, which, of course, as you know, nowadays, especially like I've seen more and more videos about the Army and how even on basic training on boot camp, it's become so laughable as to how it used to be uniform and disciplined, and now it's it's super soft. It's very super soft nowadays. Like they train the DIs not to even like cuss too much at the trainees and not call them derogatory names and belittle them. There is no breaking down aspect of drill anymore, which is a pivotal part.
Yeah, that's the whole point of basic training is to toughen people up, I always thought.
Yeah.
So they can survive in an actual, combat situation.
Yeah.
Wow, we're living in a strange world, Tony.
It's clown world. It's depressing. As somebody who has a lot of veterans who are my friends, and I work for the VA, I hear things coming out of the pipeline constantly, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah, I have great respect for veterans who serve.
To Pop Culture Curator. Welcome to the panel.
Good morning, Pop Culture Curator. How are you?
Hello, guys. Good to see you all.
Hey, Pop.
Good to see you too, Pop.
That's terrible. I was in the Air Force, and I imagine that if that's what they're doing to basic training, then that's sad. That's a vital part of being in the military.
Yeah, it's just upsetting. Like, I mean, I never served because I was of the age where there were no wars that Canada was taking part in at that time when I would have been eligible, I was either too young, or now I'm too old, to carry out that kind of function. And but I mean, I do remember like when we were in Afghanistan and how we lost probably around 50 of our troops there. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, that some people have to make the ultimate sacrifice to try and keep things stable. And in Afghanistan's case, it seemed like it was at the end it was kind of pointless in a way because now we're not even there.
The whole reason and the whole reason why in basic training they used to treat people like that was it's basically to make you leave everything at home, your personality, all your hang-ups, your baggage that needs to go home and stay home. You're a new person when you're in the military, and you need to trust and befriend the people that are around you and realize that's your new life. And you're going to rely on them, and it helps you bond with all them, and all that's out the window now.
Well, yeah, it's basically to make you disciplined and work as a team, I would think. I mean, it's like TOS, right?
Well, it does. I remember the night in basic training that we had a recruit. It was the middle of the night. He was crying and screaming. And he was saying that he couldn't handle it anymore. He said mentally that he didn't understand why they were treating us like this. And I remember telling him, I said, look, I said, when you joined, I said, you accepted this as your job. I said, they're paying you to yell at you. I said, that's the reason why they're here. And they want us to bond. They want us to be friends, and they want us to be able to defend each other till the end.
Well, I imagine the drill sergeant would, it's probably out of compassion and concern and love, basically, for the men he's training to, keep them, in one piece, I would think, right? That's why drill sergeants are so tough. They have to be.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it compassion. If you want to rally a group of people again,
make someone into a disciplined soldier that gives them a much better chance of survival. I think.
Well, the drill sergeant themselves don't give you compassion, but what it makes is you open up compassion to your fellow soldier, the people that are around you, because you realize that there's nobody else around that's going to support you.
Agreed. And it's easier to have a soft enemy in the drill sergeant who isn't really your enemy, but to be more,
Yeah, that was my point, Scotty. They're not the real enemy. They're just, toughening people up.
Oh, but no, by the time we graduated basic training, we respected our drill sergeant very much.
I think so, yeah.
We said goodbye the night that we all left. We were anticipating him to arrive and say goodbye to everybody.
Well, I mean, I would imagine the drill sergeants themselves probably feel a bond, at least to some of the men they're training, right, by the end of it all.
But basic training, what it basically starts with is they make you hate the drill sergeant because you're like, what is this? Why are they treating me like this? And then it totally changes by the time you're out of there in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't know why they're messing with what works.
Well, it's the same thing that I'll give you an example is that when you first arrive at the base, you're wearing your civilian clothing. The same ones, it's the same clothes that you left home with and you got on the plane with, and you flew to your first base at basic training. We call them rainbows because we could see them walking and we'd be laughing. You could see they're in their civilian clothes, and they call them rainbows because they're all different colored clothing. Everybody else on the base is wearing green. So basically, you're literally shedding all your past behind, and you're creating a whole new person, and you're becoming an adult. And
you're also
all that.
You're also gaining, and as you mentioned, that bond between you and your fellow. I have never served, so I'm going to say all the vernacular wrong. Yeah, fellow soldiers, and so that you are no different from the soldier beside you. And once you start mollycoddling a bunch of, what are supposed to be elite fighting force, then how are they expected to stand up against real violence and fire?
They never will.
Exactly. And this, and even this is something that I think is throughout most workforces. As I remember, I started out in restaurants and hospitality, and when I started in a kitchen, it was very much like a drill sergeant situation with yelling, swearing, "You're stupid," what the F, you don't know, and it was all negative reinforcement.
Like Gordon Ramsay.
Very similar, except not on television and not that big of a prick. But it's something that has been lost just culturally across the board. Everyone has to be nice to each other, and in which case I say, nay.
Hey, Scotty, have you ever seen the TV series Chef?
Yes.
That's kind of, I think, maybe what you're talking about a little bit.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
but
that was pretty hilarious.
that was cute and funny. And
It was
when,
funny, yeah. But I mean,
like,
he was a real SOB to some of the staff, right?
well,
And
and
that
that's
show.
where I got my healthy hatred for chefs. All you are is a cook. Back off, Gritzy.
But that was
Admiral
a
Teague
fun
says,
show.
anyone think an officer and a gentleman, a few good men, and Full Metal Jacket are the reason the Marine Corps drills got changed?
Well,
I
Teague,
don't
it's kind
think
of
they were
funny.
changed for that reason.
No, it's funny because Steve, who I do the Phantasmagorium show with, he was a Marine, and he said he was inspired to join the Marines because of Full Metal Jacket.
Mhm.
Some people seek that level of discipline.
Didn't an officer and a gentleman paint a very positive picture?
Yes.
Of
No,
horses?
Luke
I
Gossett
haven't
Jr.
seen
was an
it.
ass to
I haven't seen it in
Richard Gere.
One-
years, but
That's not.
One
I
of
mean, it
the
made Richard Gere's character.
By the end of the movie, they bonded. They
guy,
were
right? By the
yeah.
end
By
of
the
the
end of the movie, you respected him,
Exactly, yeah.
just like
That's
in
what-
real life.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make there. Yeah, thanks, Bob.
one
Yeah,
of
by the time you get to the end, then you realize everything that he taught you and that it has a reason.
Right.
But it does come with a healthy form of abuse.
Mhm.
Well, it's all psychological and verbal. It's not physical. They don't beat you up. They don't actually hit you
Anymore.
They never did. If they did
Yes,
it, let's
they
be
did.
back in the World War II era, maybe.
No, even Vietnam. Like in terms of and that would have been like platoon or inter. So like that would have been if you mess up enough times, you would be disciplined by your troop mates.
How?
Oh, well, and I'm going by anecdotal evidence, but sort of like when in things like Full Metal Jacket, when people like if the rest of the troop gets punished, then we're gonna hold
peer
you down and beat
pressure,
you with-
yeah. Peer pressure.
Well, no,
right.
but like the bars of soap and socks, or when
That's called a
drill
blanket
sergeant-
party. Yeah, it's called
Yeah,
a
blanket
So-
party.
So that exists, and that's physical.
Yes, it
abuse.
does. I saw that.
Yeah, so that's physical abuse.
But I'm saying it's not the drill sergeant that does it.
It's the other
No, that's the
soldiers.
yeah.
Here's what it
That's-
is. Let me explain it this way. Let's say if I was to receive, let's say if I was on the receiving end of a blanket party, I must have really screwed up and more than once to do it. And I must have had enough warnings and I must have ignored them. So it's only an extreme case when somebody does that. I saw people embarrassed. In fact, I mentioned before, I think I remember telling Jill that there was a guy that kept saying, okay, sir. And you're supposed to say yes or no, sir. And he kept saying, okay, okay.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
I
drill
remember.
sergeant told him to go flush the toilet 100 times and say okay every time he flushed. So they would do that, and then everybody laughed at him, and the embarrassment is what broke him of it. The worst I ever saw drill sergeants do, which I'm sure you guys have heard of the old trope, is drop and give me 100. They'll do stuff like that,
Well,
or they'll say,
that's less of a waste of water.
"Yes, it is less of a waste of water." Or like, let's say if you're marching, you're supposed to march in unison, and you're supposed to march on time. And if you're screwing up, if you're not on time, if you're slacking for any reason, what he'll do is they'll pull you out, and they'll go and they'll stick you in with a unit that is just barely starting, who have not quite got their sync together, and that's to also embarrass you. So a lot of it is peer pressure and embarrassment. I know that's what is not allowed anymore. Peer pressure and embarrassment is what's not allowed. That's what they've removed, and that was unfortunately the most vital thing of all.
Eugene Bird says part of basic is to raise your tolerance to stress and make sure you hold your composure and act while ignoring noise, violence, etc.
Right. You're never going to be able to handle extreme situations if you don't toughen up. And that's the problem is you can't be raised a wallflower. Otherwise, well, but obviously we all know this is the reason why the other militaries and the other countries are laughing at us. We're the laughing stock of the world now.
Right. Because we're not taking our responsibilities to our country seriously, it sounds like.
No, we're not. We've become complacent, and we have the wrong people in charge.
Mm-hmm. Franco Walker says, I got told off by a drill sergeant once in the 80s. I burst into laughter. He couldn't do a thing as I was a civilian.
Yeah. When I was in Army Cadets, and I had to stop because I was a little too individualistic. So I never joined.
Yeah, that would probably be me.
That sounds about right, Scotty.
Yeah,
You're definitely
I would
individualistic.
never be part of a club that would have me as a member.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be cut out for the military life either. I mean, I never got to find out, as you say, because fortunately, I guess for myself in a way, there were no wars that I was eligible to be a part of. So,
Well, I went in when I went in. It was peacetime. It was when Reagan was in office.
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I was fortunate.
Yeah, because I can remember growing up in the '60s as a kid, the whole Vietnam thing happening. Just south of the border, right? And actually,
Right, that's why they had drafting, because that was so horrible. Nobody wanted to go in.
oh, it was kind of such a, and I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe this is controversial, but I think it was such a wasteful war. I mean,
Well, yeah, everybody agrees on that now.
it didn't accomplish anything really, except to have a lot of young men that could have contributed so much to their society basically die at an early age.
Well, the worst part about it too are the survivors. They treated like garbage.
Yeah,
Like-
the PTSD and all that, right?
Yeah, they were.
It's like-
Yeah, what they do is, and what the military has done and still does, is just feed them full of drugs. Just give them opioids and send them home.
Yeah, jeez.
Well, and
That's not good.
No, it's not. That's why the suicide rate is so high and the overdose rate.
I was raised with things like Stripes and Good Morning Vietnam and Biloxi Blues, and so I always wanted to be Winger from
Not
Stripes.
exactly accurate.
Not exactly accurate, no, but that sort of thumbing your nose at authority would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or I would be drummed out of the service in the first week.
Well, there was a whole subgenre of that kind of film, I guess. Wasn't
Right,
there?
but you guys remember the famous opening scene though from Full Metal Jacket with the drill sergeant dressing them up and down, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
lots
I
of
think so. It's been a
different
long
things
time since I've seen
have
that too.
that.
but
Well,
that was a
right.
pretty intense film.
I still remember that day like it happened yesterday, because that really gives you a wake up call and really shocks you into realizing what's going on. And I did not realize at first why they were doing it, and I thought it was over the top and unnecessary. But by the time I walked out of there 8 weeks later, we were all glad they did that.
Well, and
We bonded.
I say it flippantly in terms of being like, yeah, I want to be Bill Murray in the army. But the truth of the matter is, and you're absolutely right, Pop Culture, is that what the situation is that you are not in charge. The drill sergeant is in charge.
Right. Leave
There
mommy
are
and daddy at home. Right.
It's not even that. You're not going to be the class clown in the barracks. Like, that does not have a place in the Corps or in the military at all. You cannot be seen as being elevated above anyone else. And if you are, that's why there's a rank structure to
Well,
do
you're
it
there to
within
serve.
proper channels.
You're there
Well,
to
it's also
serve, right?
a class, right? It's also a class thing. You had people there from all backgrounds. Some were poor, some came from rich backgrounds. I remember the guy next to me. He had a rich background, but his dad told him, I'm not going to have you work for my company. You're never going to inherit my company until you go in the military and become a man. And, so he grew up thinking he was better than everybody around him. And he found out as soon as he got there, he wasn't.
So his father gave him tough love.
Tough love, and it was necessary. It was necessary, and that's another reason why they shave everybody's head. They want everyone to even look identical. You were in the same clothes. You look the same, even your hair.
Yeah, he probably became a better person for the experience. So I would hope
He did, and he appreciated it too. He made it all the way to the end. He was a good man.
That makes sense.
That's cool.
Eugene Bird says a few things. He says they use self-imposed torture positions at the Naval Academy. I don't know what this means.
Nor do I.
Then he also says, if you can ignore all that, you can be trusted to keep your military bearing at war. They told us how to break the rules, didn't say to do it, but wanted you to understand that you should do it and not get caught. I don't understand.
Well, I know a guy who was in the Canadian military, and the advice that he gave, or not advice, but just sort of the description of the situation that he found was that when he got in, never be too good because they always expect too much of you. Never be too bad because you get in shit all the time. So just stay in the middle and don't make any waves, follow the rules, and do as you're told.
That sounds very Canadian.
Right.
We are kind of like that. We are kind of moderate folks in a lot of ways, I guess.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring up something which it reminds me of as well. The reason why they do what they do is we had this one guy in our platoon that he thought, you could tell from his background that he was special, or at least he considered himself special. So the first thing that he did is he started snitching on people to the drill sergeant because he thought that was going to help him gain favor.
Yikes.
Nope.
And right, that's what I'm talking about. That's where the blanket parties came in.
The tattletelling.
Right. There are
Backfired.
people that do that. They go in there and they think, well, I'm just going to snitch on people and I'll be able to get favors from the drill sergeant and he'll be my friend and he'll treat me nice. You find out really fast that that doesn't work.
Well, a good drill sergeant would ostracize you and humiliate you for ratting out your squad mates.
Well, he will, but what's interesting is I'll give you an example. Like, let's say it's me. Let's say if I go to my drill sergeant and say, "Hey, so and so Johnson over there," sorry, Johnson. They call everybody by their last name. So if you say, "Oh, so Johnson over there wasn't wearing his socks last night when he was doing blah," his chores or whatever, the drill sergeant will say, "What are you telling me this for?" But basically, what happens is all the guys around you, they'll pick up on it before anybody else. And that's going to immediately turn everybody against you.
Yeah, right, because then they can't trust you.
Right, that's exactly what happens. And that's the last thing they want in the military is they don't want any single one person in your unit that you cannot trust.
Oh yeah, that could damage the whole unit. I mean, basically,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
And not only that, though, because it comes down to this. If you two are in a foxhole in a war and you two are in a small hole and you have to defend each other's back, you do not want a person like that in that hole with you.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
You don't want a person in the hole that's going to
Absolutely.
say, right, you don't want a person in the hole that does not have your back. You don't want a person in the hole that says, I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. My dad or my mommy said this wouldn't happen to me. You can't have that. And that's what
Yeah.
we have now.
And Franco calls that type of person an idiot. And James Caserta says, it's not Hollywood.
That is
Not
certainly true.
Hollywood.
Uh,
No, I am not in the military, but I have, for a civvy, I have a massive awareness of what's going on, given that I work for the VA, and 90% of my friends are veterans.
So you hear a lot of stories.
I
Well,
do.
the worst part is this, okay? Is all practicality, if they go into a conflict, they're not going to, out of necessity, there's no way they're going to put the weaker people on the front line for fighting. And unfortunately, that includes
Right.
women and people who have had any kind of transgender surgery. So what that means is that's going to give those people special privileges where they'll be behind the desk and they'll be safer than the people that are on the fighting line. The people on the fighting line will be the only ones risking their lives. So automatically,
Well,
it's
wait.
not fair.
you
What,
don't have female
that's-
soldiers on the front
well, they
lines?
don't necessarily have
No,
to be
I'm
behind
talking
the
hand-to-hand
desk.
combat. No, they don't. A
Uh,
woman,
They
a
can,
woman might
Interesting.
be, like she might be like I'll give you an example, like steering the tank,
yes.
or shooting a gun. But I'm talking hand-to-hand combat on the line.
Okay. Good.
Where
Thank
you.
where brute strength is necessary.
I
believe
would
the
I would be
Canadian-
happy in a tank.
I believe the Canadian military actually does have female soldiers in the field, so to speak. Because
Well,
I know
if you can
we
have
lost-
enough women that are big
we
and
lost
strong
one
enough.
in Afghanistan. I remember it was quite, it was on the news a lot because it was unusual for a woman to die in a combat situation. But
Right, well, because they're not usually put on the fighting line.
yeah, but apparently she was a very good soldier.
But they can be like snipers and things like that. But what I'm
Maybe
saying
she
is,
was. I'm not sure.
but what it does is that gives them a privilege
Yes.
above the soldiers
Makes
who are
sense.
fighting hand to hand, which is not fair.
Hmm.
Well,
I've
they
seen
gotta go
so many
somewhere.
episodes of G.I. Joe. I thought that the girls and the boys could fight together to take down the evil organization known as Cobra.
It comes down to brute strength.
Well, yeah, a woman can be really strong,
Scarlet,
but she has
Lady
to
J.
work out like all the time, all around the clock. All it's like a lot of work.
Well, I mean, it's nice and dandy to say, okay, let's treat everybody equal. But when it comes to a actual fighting force and brute strength, you're going to lose fast if you have a bunch of people
Right.
that are in there as tokens.
Right. Everyone should be tested the same. Like,
Well,
And what
whoever
those
is the
people will do,
strongest.
and those people, the people I'm
That
talking
makes
about,
sense.
the ones that are incapable of fighting, they know that too. So it's and they will say, well, I can't fight. Can't you put me like behind a desk or answering phones? And they do that. And then the government will say, yeah, okay, you can go sit behind the desk over here and answer phones.
Well, here's the thing that I gotta say. Isn't there like a training program for like because where women don't have the natural affinity for brute strength, isn't there
Right.
like a different like set of martial arts that could be taught that are more like judo and intelligent martial arts that are meant for people that have more finesse than strength, like like women? Like I thought that was a thing. Like
It's they can take martial arts, but that's not part of the military training. Military
Right.
training is mostly standard training, like
Yeah.
you would expect. Martial arts is something that's on the fringe.
That's a self-defense.
Yeah.
The Goat Father says modern military has become such a joke that they'll take about anyone in the name of politics, and that women make better pilots.
That's true.
And well, we're smaller, so we fit wherever we need to go. And
But we were stationed even after basic training. We had our tech school where they trained us at our jobs, and then we had our permanent base where we were stationed.
Mhm.
And I had a job that required labor, where heavy stuff, you had to lift heavy equipment. So of course the women didn't have to lift anything. They drive the cars and they would do stuff like that. So because they weren't physically able to do the kind of work we were doing. So sometimes it's just a matter of nature. There's nothing you can do about that. Unless you have a woman who happens to be 6'2" and built like, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That just doesn't happen very often.
or you can use technology. There's things called forklifts and dollies and
No, wait, hold on. I'm
Pulley.
talking about, okay. Like lifting it's called a coupler. Like for example, when you're lifting a device that's like 10 or 15 pounds or 20 pounds,
Mhm.
you can use a forklift if you're lifting a bunch of items. But let's say if you guys know what a bucket brigade is, right?
Yeah.
All right. If you have a row of people and they're handing a heavy object from one to the other, and you've got to move fast and you've got to run
Yes.
uphill with it, that's a matter of brute strength. You can't do that with a forklift.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And stamina, yeah. And nothing sexist when I say this. I don't
No,
mean anything
absolutely
sexist
not.
about it.
I'm not saying that. Donnie Pearson. Hello to Donnie Pearson.
Donnie, more phenomenal.
Yeah, more.
Hello, everybody in the chat, by the way.
Dark Helmet.
Yeah, Dark Helmet says Germans in World War II tended to execute Russian women that were snipers. They see them as an abomination.
Well, they executed everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Germans weren't necessarily known for being tolerable.
No,
they weren't.
The thing I got to say about like that is like everybody plays to their strengths. And just to wrap this back around to something I heard the Critical Drinkers say is men are bulldozers, women are sports cars. And he meant that literally and figuratively, and I agree with that because we are meant to make sure that everything is in place so that the sports cars can drive down the road and look good doing it. And so it's not a matter of sexism that, there's a divisive nature-bound set of skills and attributes that we give ourselves, based on our gender. It's just the way it is.
It's just science.
I just want to mention here, guys, a very interesting conversation. I've been kind of doing a little research while listening to everyone.
Hey, Lemon.
And I have found some stuff here about how combat roles were opened to female soldiers in Canada in like the 1990s. It says here that, let me see here. The Canadian Armed Forces opens all occupations, this is 1989, including combat roles. And that same year, PTE Heather R. Erxelben becomes Canada's first female regular force infantry soldier. So we do have some, I believe.
Well, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is good.
Well, I mean, Canada, we are pretty progressive, I guess, in quite a few ways. So. But yeah, I do remember the one soldier that sacrificed her life.
Well, it's more about the best person for the job being hired than worrying about,
Yeah, I mean, basically our armed forces, it's pretty much open. Like women are eligible to serve in pretty much any area now.
As long as the same standards are applied to everybody.
Yeah, they're like mechanics. They could be, driving ambulances, the pilots, I think they're even serving on submarines now. I mean, it's pretty much wide open, I think, as to what kind of positions they can,
Well, you're right. When it comes to the support line, they're definitely highly needed and valued.
Mm.
And hello, Lord Thoth.
Hey, Thoth.
Hello, Lord Thoth.
Great to see you.
Donnie.
And I had some things starred from earlier. Franco Walker said earlier, I've been watching the Japanese live-action version of Spider-Man from the 1970s. It's bloody brilliant.
Really,
Oh, it's
Frank?
a trip.
I've
It's a
never
trip.
seen it. How is it, Tony?
Imagine the best way to describe it is like a fever dream. Like if Peter Parker was having a fever dream while hopping around, and
He
like
got bit by the wrong kind of spider.
he got bit by the wrong kind of spider. You know, he's licking the poisonous frogs along with the radioactive spider. You know, and he's
Wow.
you know, I want to like take some of like the fight footage and like wall climbing footage from that show and just like play like some Jimi Hendrix solo guitar music over it. That's how wild it gets.
I've
And
never heard of this show. Wow, this sounds great. Wow. Is there any
That's pretty
place
cool.
online to check this out? Like,
I'm pretty sure there's some of it on YouTube.
yeah, there's
cool,
some of it
cool.
on YouTube.
oh, I got to see this. Wow, that sounds really trippy.
Eugene Bird says,
Now is 2 o'clock. 13th.
Oh, that's Jarvis. He's just letting me know it's 2.
oh, you actually have a jar. Well, okay. Is that like an Alexa or what is it?
It's a program that I started in 2010, inspired by Iron Man. This was back at the budding age of digital personal assistants, and so, you know, over time, it's just gotten more and more advanced as I go along. Yeah,
Is it a program on your computer or is it a device?
it is. It's on multiple computers and on my mobile. See, there's the computer in the back chiming in with him.
Did you construct it?
I am piggybacked the Ivona Reader Text-to-Speech program, but back when Google Chatbot was still open source, I was able to snag a lot of it for its conversational protocols and things like that. And I've just, been tweaking it here and there, just, dicking around with it.
Oh, neat. Like, is it artificial intelligence?
Oh, no. It's still very much a digital personal assistant. It can respond to certain pickups, hooks, and cues, but, outside of like, telling it, I could say, hey, Jarv, open YouTube, and it would open YouTube. Like, it's shell commands and things like that. It's very input output kind of interface. But he's on my show, like on my Saturday show. I got him like plugging projects in the background as I'm doing my show, and he also sometimes I'm trying to get this interface to welcome new chatters as they enter the stream. And
Cool.
Google Chrome is a very odd structure, and I've been tinkering with it because you'll see it in some of my earlier streams where he'll work just fine, and then I'll get booted from the stream on other days whenever.
So it sounds like he's about as good as a text-based adventure game.
He's definitely Mud. Yeah, he's just like Mud.
That's cool.
But and he just started like I said, a lot of people don't know this, but in my hometown, people know me as Tony Stark. They know me as Iron Man. All I did was just imprint the personality and the desire to party and entertain people for 20 years and just ported it online. That's all I really did. And so you'll hear Jarvis rambling on the hour every hour. I wish I could get Paul Bettany to like a Paul Bettany voice profile, and I know there's AIs out there that can like do a pseudo speech pattern to it. But at the same time, those AIs to me, the same AIs that like do like the art and whatnot, it's kind of putting people that put legitimate hard work into their craft out of business. So I'm kind of like, I'll just stick with the Ivona voice profile. Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah, I'll just stick with the Ivona voice profile.
Okay, I guess I understand the sentiment of that.
Uh-huh.
And Franco Walker says, "I gotta go, guys. Take care, everyone. Have a nice night. See you later, Franco Walker. Thank you for stopping by."
Take care, Franco.
Good to see you, Franco. But yeah, this dialogue that I'm doing between Jarvis and Karen right now,
Okay, so yeah, I didn't realize that you actually had a Jarvis. Or are you also going to have a voice for Karen? Like, is that going to be an external voice?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's also fun. Okay, so it's gonna be with Eugene. So Eugene Bird in the chat says, when trying to judge how brave people are, I ask them, would you be an astronaut if offered it to you? And maybe 17 years ago before, or maybe like 10 years ago before I had children, I would say yes.
My neighbor's cousin was a teacher that went up on Columbia.
Thank heaven she wasn't on Challenger.
Yeah, Challenger, not
Yeah.
Columbia. Challenger. I mean, it
was the teacher that blew up?
It was the teacher that blew up. Yeah.
Oh, my
I'm so
stars.
sorry.
That's
She told me that about a month after she moved in, whenever we were, getting to know each other and just hanging out and bullshitting. And it blew my mind. I was just like, "You're kidding me. That was your cousin?"
Wow.
Wow.
I remember that day. Boy, that was on the news like all day long. It was just
Oh, yeah.
horrific.
Well, it was worse for her
Yeah.
students. They watched it while it happened.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because she was going to go back and after they were supposed to land, and she was going to give a nice lecture and talk, I guess, to all the students in person. I would imagine.
Yeah, and
Oh, that's so sad.
it is so sad. Star Trek 4 was dedicated to the crew of the Challenger.
It wasn't until years later they admitted that the crews, they were alive until they hit the water.
But there was no ejection system on the ship, right? I mean, there was no way they could have been saved anyway.
No, there was no design. But the thing
Yeah.
is that at first they were telling everybody that they died instantly. They didn't suffer. And
From the
It wasn't
explosion,
from the explosion, right? And then it was found out later that the cockpit was separated from the ship, and they were alive until they hit the water.
Oh, that must have been a terrible last few minutes. Oh, geez.
It was, yeah.
And that was a terrible tragedy.
Speaking of tragedies.
Speaking of tragedies, Eugene Bird just tipped $20. He
Cool.
says, "Hell,
Hey, Jill, raking in the funds.
yeah."
Hey,
Eugene, thank you.
But you
Hey,
deserve
man,
it. Though.
you got super fans. That's what's up.
Well, Eugene Bird is an amazing, smart, intelligent pilot out there, and I appreciate his company here.
And your subs are up too, aren't they? Almost
They've gone up.
330.
They've gone up 10 in the past week.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's
Very
cool.
nice.
Congratulations.
Yes. And about half of those are thanks to Mr. Brown Alliance. I showed up in his chat and he shouted me out. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Well, I'm up to $1.31 on my end.
Yeah, I hit 70 this past week. I got one more.
Nice.
Nice.
I was shocked. I'm like, wow, I'm still getting subs, even
I'm
though
kinda-
I just do music playlists basically right now.
I'm half a mind to unsubscribe just so you can get back to 69.
Well, I'm not going to touch that joke with a 10-foot pole.
That's okay. I will. I have no shame. Nice.
No, I was excited when I got to 69. I
You know,
made a
Scotty-
tweet about it.
Thanks, Jill.
69 subs is not the same as other types.
Yeah, but it's a fun place to climax.
Exactly.
But I mean, we're
It's
just
a little
talking
give it, a
subs.
little take, you know?
There you
We're talking
go.
subs.
It's
We're
a
not
team
talking,
effort.
We're not talking love in here.
Mega
Depends on depends on
Go
who's
on.
on the bottom, really, who's sub.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Friday.
Dalek exterminating me. Now, why would Dalek exterminate me?
Yeah.
Hey,
Mega
Dalek
Cropper
is here. Hey,
says-
Dalek.
Mega
Dalek?
Cropper says
Or
going
Dalek.
totally embarrassing when Dalek exterminates Tony. I don't know
Well,
why.
Well,
I
I mean, listen.
I can't
I've-
read that many of Mega Cropper's chats, so when I can, I go for it.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, douchebag Kylo's already got it out for me. Granted, that's a bit, but Dalek and I.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we do this bit. He calls me, especially on FNF. He'll call me Tiny Stank or Tony Stank, and I call him Diet Vader. Friends busting balls.
Oh, okay. So it's a friendly kind of.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's funny because Goat can actually attest to this. We were doing a diatribe back and forth on Twitter, and Goat was like, "Holy shit, Tony's freaking out. He's getting trolled over here." And he had to ask us, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's a bit. Relax."
That's hilarious. Yeah, there must be people who go on Twitter and purposely do that, right? I mean, it's got.
Yeah, he's not just Kylo. He's douchebag Kylo. If you look at his profile picture, he's got the douchebag hat on over the helmet. You know, that's part of his charm.
Yeah.
Shout out to douchebag Kylo. You're in one of my songs, bud.
It's interesting, the personalities on YouTube. There's a lot of really cool people here.
Oh, and Donnie Pearson wants to say rest in peace to Robbie Bachman of Bachman.
Yeah,
died?
Yeah,
Robbie
yesterday.
Robbie Bachman and Miss Presley.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, Elvis Presley's daughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy, it's been a bad week. And Jeff Beck died, of course.
And right after Jeff Beck, yep.
Yeah.
Death comes in triplicate. Yep.
Man, it's been a bad week. Oh, Randy Bachman. He was like, back in the 70s when I was a teenager, he's like part of the soundtrack of my youth. Like,
yeah, I used to
BTO
listen to
was on the
BTO,
radio
yeah.
constantly with hits, one hit after another for years. Oh, man. And I saw them live. I actually saw Robbie Bachman back in at their four-wheel drive tour around 1974. The loudest bloody concert I ever saw. My ears were ringing for like 2 days after that, but it was worth it because they were fantastic live.
I think to become a Canadian citizen, you have to sing "Taking Care of Business."
Yeah, yeah, that's a great one. Well, they have so many good songs, though.
Hello,
their
Sandra.
albums are great.
Hello, Sandra.
Oh, hi, Sandra.
Sandra's
Sandra.
listening from work.
Good to see you, Sandra.
I'll see you on King Dolphin after my stream tomorrow.
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely tune in to King Dolphin TV tomorrow, every Saturday, or sometimes it's on Sunday, but mostly Saturdays at 4 p.m. Central.
4
King
p.m.
Dolphin
Central
has his show. He has a show on Saturdays, Making Waves, over there on King Dolphin TV. So go subscribe and ring the bell for him.
Mm-hmm. He's good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's whenever I was regularly going on his streams for a little bit, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to make an effort to move my show and make sure that those shows don't cross.
That's pretty great. Yes. You can't do that for everybody because there's always somebody streaming all of the time, but some certain people are that important.
What? There's only like 7 people on the internet.
Yeah, he's got a good stream. I pop on there quite often on Saturdays.
We have 5 of them here.
Oh my God.
And James Caserta says, I love Jill.
That's okay. She loves Jill too.
I do. I do. I understand that sentiment. The Godfather says the more I got involved was when I asked the Goat Father, if you'd be on the show for doing something odd with the Harvey doll. Then I was told it was just a joke.
Well, you see, I got my Doomcock rings in. Let's just go ahead and do the context of this bit that we did. And so I announced on a show that I got my rings in, and coincidentally, they fit over my Harvey's tentacles perfectly. So I was like, I'm going to give him a gangster grill. So now he's got a gangster grill of Doomcock and Harvey rings that are made by the amazing and talented and very busy Gary Ambrosia. Thank you, brother.
Oh, Gary Ambrosia made those rings. That's cool.
Yes. Wow. And and of course, the way I said it, Kylo was in the chat and he was like, "You're going to do what to your cock rings? You're going to put your cock rings in Harvey's mouth?" And we rolled with it. We rolled with it because that was good.
Oh, man. That's so hilarious.
Yeah, well, I have a glow-in-the-dark Doom cock ring.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Jill, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes all my illusions of innocent Jill. Shattered.
No, it's literally just a 3D printed
Well, hopefully, I was okay with the name drop, but I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah, Gary Ambrosia is great.
Yeah.
And everybody make sure to donate to his wife's charity, the Bunny Ambrosia.
Oh yeah, the Bunny Rescue. Yeah,
Bunny Rescue. Yeah,
that's another
I'll
thing.
find the link for that.
That's another thing that I want to do. I'm going to be doing some commercial segments where I just make like TV and radio worthy commercials for some of the streams in the community and have them on like intermissions during my one man act. And I was wondering if you would like to have a commercial done for your show on my show, Joe.
A commercial?
Yes.
Done about my show?
About your show, advertising your show, a free plug every time I broadcast.
Oh my God! I mean, if you want to, yeah, you're more than welcome to do that. If that's something creative you want to do, I'm happy with that. But I don't see why not. Sounds fun.
Arigato gozaimasu.
DoorDash musty. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And hello to Snortopoopas Q Burr.
Poopas.
Oh yeah, Jarvis saw at the opening part of my streams now. He says do not feed the polar bear.
Oh, I feed him all the time. You just feed him Arctic char, all the fish.
Well, if you feed the polar bear too much, the polar bear will start looking at you next. So you got to be careful there.
I thought that if you fed him, he wouldn't be hungry to eat humans.
The bear is insatiable. And Lord Thoth went.
Snortopoopas says, "I'm just an old bear. Pay no attention to the wrench."
Wasn't the original sound effect for Friday the 13th? It wasn't. It was kill. Bam.
Oh, that's what Lord Thoth is saying.
Yeah,
it's about the same. I mean, definitely in the first and second. Definitely. Well, I on the other hand, spam horror movies every Halloween for a reason. It started as that, and it was supposed to be. It was in Friday 2, like Friday and Friday 2, to represent the ghost of Mrs. Voorhees. Guiding, because up to that point, Jason was alive. Jason wasn't, it wasn't considered a spirit of vengeance or a zombie yet. Like he was, out in the woods, somehow survived the incident where everybody thought he drowned and took up the mantle when his mother died. And and then it was later retconned. One moment. Who is it? It's me. All right, give me a second. Yeah. I'm coming. Don't let the cat out. Watch where you step.
This station break has been brought to you by me, the person knocking at the door.
Oh, did you bring me some EC? No.
EC?
No, motherfucker. What? Hey, please don't. Please
all
don't
right.
I bought myself a bottle of Elijah Craig. Well, I mean, I'm almost out of mine.
And that is a lovely behind-the-scenes look of what goes on here at the Anti-Derivative Chill channel on Fridays. I don't know what EC is, but it sounds like something that Tony didn't get.
No, it sounds like a type of liquor. That's the type of liquor that Doomcock likes to drink, Elijah Craig.
Oh.
So
all right. Thank you for muting me. On that note,
it was much too late. It was much too late.
No, I was enjoying it, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's the part of the movie where I need to go ahead and start wrapping things up.
I figured that was coming up. Based on the party that's starting to happen in your.
Yeah. Mr. Stark needs to have his party. I remember that time that you wished me a nerdy party.
Yeah, and you got one. I didn't have to wish it for you this time. It just happened.
Here I am. Trying to protect the button from the people that are my best friends because they manifest destiny for me a good time. Maybe I should just, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. But yeah, there he is. Look at that gangsta grill. Yeah, see?
Wow, that's a cool looking Harvey.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
great ring.
the Fez.
He's wearing the Doomcock ring.
Wow, where did you get that, Tony?
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll explain everything that it took to get that Fez. That Fez was found at a Goodwill for $10.
Wow.
And it was an Ames Shriner Fez. It was, now when I look at Harvey on Doomcock's videos, the Fez that he wears, he's either a bigger Cthulhu or it's a custom made Fez. Is what I've gathered. But I kind of like the authenticity of actually having a real Fez there. That's a vintage Fez, has the leather in the inner rim and the brim of the hat and everything. Like it's a nice Fez. The Cthulhu doll I got for $35 off of eBay. I know there is a Cthulhu that is a size bigger, and
well, he can shrink and grow, so it's totally fine.
As for the Doomcock rings, yeah, and what's really cool is I have a black light in here, so whenever I leave the house, and I just leave the black light on, it's just low light to be able to when I come back in. Those rings do glow in the dark, and they are of different colors. There's a red one, a blue one, and a green one. And he just looks really cool. And of course, he's sitting on. Now, this is the joke with the arc reactor. That is if a Tony Stark had a heart arc reactor that actually my ex got for me, and she was basically my Pepper Potts. Like, she even put it in a cardboard box with "From Pepper Potts" written on top of it back when we were together. and she got it custom made and ordered. And but the joke there is, because I'm the minister of Harvey's field operations, it's my job to be the first line of defense and to maintain the field whenever Doomcock is panicking and everybody is going, "Oh my God, throw panties at him." I'm the guy there on Circuit T.
Yes, that happens during the stream whenever Harvey is trying to break free from his containment field.
Yeah, and I'm the guy that's literally scrambling over the phase lock inverters and crossing the circuit to B and praying to God and going, "Okay, guys, I need that guy there," because I have a team. Because whenever I'm working, I'll go, "Hey, muzzle velocity. Hey, molecular arts. Hey, dark helmet. You guys are my team."
I thought it was always solved by inverse phasing.
Yeah, inverse phasing fixes everything.
Why the fuck would they make?
Hey,
why would they make liquor childproof to get into?
Because it's liquor.
It sounds like you got a party going on, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. So
all right,
please
let me
plug
switch.
your channel.
Yes. You can find me over at tstarkceo.com. I believe I am a wrench in your chat, so uno momento, and I will go ahead and I'll just put the link down there. But I have a show called Stark Saturday Matinee. If you like the frolics, I kind of do the same thing, only it's a little less sea shanties and crooning and a little bit more classic rock and 80s hits that I parody. And Sunday is an open panel stream, which I hope that you can be back on at some point, Scottford. You were really fun on the first Sunday.
Thanks, man. I'll do my best this Sunday.
You bet. I'll definitely be there. I'll be doing that at 6 p.m. Eastern, possibly 5 p.m. Eastern Sunday evening for the open panel. And the matinee, I am torn between 1 p.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. Eastern, depending on if I have enough material to go through until happy hour before King Dolphin. But anyway, you guys have a great one.
Right on. That's great. You too.
And yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, PvP. This is the first time we've been on the stream together.
I guess, is it really? I thought maybe we might have been on once before, but I don't always remember these things.
All right, let me.
yeah,
wait,
even if
wait.
it's
I
first
copied
time.
the link and then I didn't put it in there. Hold on.
No,
Wow.
you didn't.
Yeah, I don't see
I
a
would have
link.
been showing it if
I don't see a link yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eager to play cards and drink.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the party's already happening, but you want to be at two parties at once. So
I
go focus on
know.
this one.
To quote the captain, everybody wants a piece of the Tony.
Oh, jeez.
Mhm. Well, it's good to be wanted.
All right, and that's the. It didn't do the handle, but there it is. The YouTube and my Twitter handle are both at TStarkCEO. So it was a pleasure to come on in such short notice. And I'm going to tell you right now, Harley, I do need to finish this script. See, point that script right there. I have to finish that, and I have to have that up in tomorrow. So don't let me get too wasted.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Just added. I just subbed there, Tony.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. God bless you.
I thought I'd subbed before, but I guess I forgot. So yeah,
what?
so I sub now.
Well, thank you so much.
YouTube is very ruthless with everything that's going on.
I guess sometimes they do take subscriptions off, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
They do. Well, they say it. They clear out the idle subscriptions. That means that if you don't watch the videos of the channel, you might be unsubscribed.
So having almost 200 subs, I probably have a lot of ones that have been unsubbed. I mean, there's just so many good channels. It's hard to watch everything.
They don't. I don't
right?
know if they care until you get to 100, and then it starts something.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't look at the algorithm myself, obviously.
Well, again, thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for
you guys
being
take it
here.
easy, and God bless you. And I'll be at the Frolics. I'll probably also be playing cards with my friends listening in, so I won't be as active in the chat. I may just
Makes
catch
sense.
the latter half of it on the rewind. I know I said I was going to totally be there for the whole stream, and most of the time I am when I'm off work. But
You are actually on the stream a lot when you are at work.
yeah,
Well,
this could have been Tony's big break. What's
Well,
Mega Cropper going on about?
I don't know.
Who
I
is
don't know.
Mega Cropper? Are you?
Mega
Do I
Cropper-
know you?
Mega Cropper he shows up all over the place. He's Mega
He's
Cropper.
He's our very own personal Statler and Waldorf from the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
What is Statler and Waldorf?
They're the Muppets who make fun of
They're
Wally
the,
and the
the
Muppets.
critics.
They're the old geezers in the balcony that complain about everything, Jill.
What's the best part of the movie? The credits.
You must have seen them, Jill.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I know what they are now. That he says
okay.
that.
Yep.
So
All
have
right.
fun, Tony.
Yeah.
You guys have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheers, Johnny. Bye.
Bye bye. Hey, we're 4 now. This is great.
Yay.
Yeah.
Although it's always good to see Tony Stark.
Yes, it is. Of course.
Yeah, Tony's fun for sure. I'm sure I must have spoke with him once before in a stream, though. Seems like, well, I don't know. Sometimes I don't remember stuff.
And I always
Well, neither does
appreciate
he. He drinks.
Donnie Pearson being here. He says, also in 4 days, a special Hasbro live stream event devoted to all things Power Rangers. Wow. So you're going to get your own personal convention about Power Rangers, which you really love.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And the Goat Father agrees that, yeah, Gary is a master prop maker, as far as I'm concerned. Brilliant, well-made work, lots of love and quality put into it. And I actually really admire Gary Ambrosio's work because he collects all of these old props from old movies. And when they're disrepaired, they're damaged, he repairs them, or he makes copies. He does replicas, he does molds. He gets original molds from the movies, and
Yeah, he's got a
makes
awesome
stuff.
collection of stuff.
It is, yeah, his work is very cool.
And Gary's a cool guy too. I like Gary.
Me too. So James Caserta says, I hate Jill now, which
Oh,
makes
why?
sense. It makes sense because hate and love are both in the same area of the brain.
Many passions.
Yeah.
But you don't have hate and love tattooed on your knuckles, Jill, I hope.
No.
I hope not. Do you get that movie reference? Have you seen that film?
Oh, Cape Fear?
Night of the Hunter.
Cape Fear. Night of the Hunter's the first one, and then they made Cape Fear. Yeah.
Okay.
What's that movie about?
Oh, gosh.
It's about a district attorney who puts away this murderer, and then he...
That's Cape Fear.
Oh, I thought it was the same general plot as
Night of the Hunter is a different movie.
Night of the Hunter is a
Then
totally
go on.
different plot.
And go on.
Yeah, it's got Lillian Gish is a woman who's taking care of these kids, and because you're confusing them, Scotty, because Robert Mitchum played. In both movies.
He plays both characters. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought
they're different movies.
No, I know they're different movies. For some reason, I thought that Scorsese remade Night of the Hunter into Cape Fear, but I could be mistaken, and I obviously am based on your knowledge. Guys.
Well, the thing is,
no, Scorsese remade Cape Fear.
Yes,
so there's Cape Fear, and then the remake of Cape Fear.
Yes.
Oh, then I'm completely off base. My mistake.
No problem.
Yeah, Night of the Hunter is basically the story is there's a brother and sister, and I guess their father commits a robbery or something, and before the cops, come in to get him, he tells the boy, "Look after your sister. Take this bag of money, hide it. Don't ever tell anybody about it, where it is. You keep this money." And basically that starts the whole plot line. And then Robert Mitchum's character is like this insane preacher.
Right, he's posing as a priest.
He's a psychopath, basically. And he ends up marrying their mother just because he somehow found out. Well, he was in prison, and another prisoner told him about this money. And so he goes, courts the mother, marries her, and ends up murdering her. And these kids have to flee this psychopath. And it's basically a lot of the film is a chase movie, basically, because they're on the river on a boat, and it's really creepy and atmospheric, black and white, but wonderful film.
Well described.
And then Lillian Gish comes in towards the latter part of the film, Jill, and she's also a religious person, but she's a true, Christian in the sense that she believes in being good, right? And when he shows up, she takes the kids in because they show up, and they've been on the boat for days and days, and they need someone to help them, and so she takes them in and feeds them, and looks after them. And when he shows up, she figures him out pretty fast that this is not a good man. This is a very, very bad man, and she basically protects the kids. And I've already spoiled it too much. So
well, that's great.
I won't give away the ending.
Have a new protector.
We should watch it
they
sometime,
lost them on,
Jill.
and
it's really great.
Wonderful.
I think it's probably online somewhere. I'd have to take a look and see.
I'll figure it out whenever I want to watch it. I already forgot the name of the movie.
It's a classic, black and white.
It is. It's a great film. And it was, what was it? Ida Lupino was the director, if I'm remembering correctly.
Ida Lupino was a director. I can check to see if she directed.
I think that might have been the only film. Well, whoever the director was, it was the only film they ever made, apparently.
Well, then it wasn't Ida Lupino.
Okay. It was not a box office hit, so I think that's why the director basically hung it up.
Charles Lawton.
Charles Lawton, yeah, who was a famous actor, not known as a director, really, but
right.
But yeah, it's a great film. It really is.
1955.
And hello to Stuart Mitchell in the chat. Yeah.
Hey, Stu.
But Cape Fear is awesome too.
Robert Mitchum was a good actor. He was.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, he never made a bad role. He never did a bad role.
Yeah, he was a great actor. Yeah.
His sons got into acting there for a while, but I don't think they ever went anywhere.
Yes, and Lord Thoth says that is why mute is your friend. Yes, I should have muted. I'm working on that. James Caserta says, "Tell them you don't get duck sauce next time. We're going to blow up China." What's that from? Is that from a movie or something? I don't know. I don't understand.
Not one I'm familiar with.
No, me neither.
I don't know the reference.
Yeah, Tony's going to have to give me one of those rings. If I send him mine, Cam can get a new one. Oh, Dark Helmet has a Yaphet from Andy, and that is too cool. I'm jealous of that. I want a Yaphet. I love Yaphet very much.
Yeah, it's awesome.
from the Orville.
Hmm.
And yeah, so Godfather also has kill all audio in case the panelist causes one of those infinite loop audio bits, which has happened twice. Oh, right, exactly. When there's an echo and it keeps echoing the same thing that's already been said over and over. That
Was
is
there an echo today? I must
not
have...
today.
Oh,
Not today.
okay.
That it happened a bit on the Superman stream.
Oh, okay.
And so I've got to work on.
That was weird.
muting.
I didn't notice it on the Superman stream, but on
It
my
happens.
my end here. But I could have stepped out, I suppose, for a minute.
Oh, that's
I do
nice,
that
James
once in a
Pepper.
while. So.
He says my mute button has been on since the start of the show. That's funny. But
And,
if he's telling the truth, I'll never know I read that.
I thought I saw Todd Michael in the chat. Hey, Todd Michael.
Hello, Todd Michael.
I always forget if he's a Falcon Crest fan or the other one. What's the other one? Not Falcon Crest, but the other one. Not Dallas.
Dynasty?
That's the one. No, I think he's a Falcon Crest fan.
Falcon Crest wasn't on nearly as long as Dynasty, though, was it?
No, well, different strokes
Like
for the world, I
couple of
suppose.
years, 2-3 years, maybe.
Hello, Dalek.
Dalek says, hi, all. I'm just here to say hi and that I might be doing a short stream later tonight. I look forward to it.
Hi again, Dalek.
Me too. And Donnie Pearson says, thank you, Tony. Be seeing you again on a new Frolics this evening. Yes, everybody check out Doomcock's Friday Night Frolics on tonight. It'll be a lot of fun singing stories. It's where my movie list started to grow, was listening to Friday Night Frolics.
Well, Doomcock does have a great knowledge of movies and many other things, so...
Yeah, it's where he shares all the things he loves, so it makes sense why he's so upset about why everything's being destroyed now.
Yeah, that's my favorite stream he does because it is generally so positive. Even though he does do the occasional rant, which is also fun.
He does.
When he gets wound up, it's pretty great actually. And also, I mean, every Friday I have to hear him sing "The Daughter of Harvey Cthulhu" and have the whole escape sequence where it's panic time. That is always great.
Yeah, it happens every week now.
Every Friday. But it's great. It's fun. It's like a tradition,
Dalek 451 says everyone goes on and on about the YouTube algorithm. I know absolutely nothing about it. Nobody really does. All we can do is speculate about it, and get rumors from it, because we can't actually go through the lines of code ourselves unless you've actually worked for YouTube. You have
What
no
is
idea.
the definition of an algorithm anyway? I'm totally ignorant.
It's just lines of code that solve a problem.
Oh.
I think that in the case of YouTube, it just identifies creator. Well, and in some cases, it's manipulated based on what the channel is. But when people start talking about chasing the algorithm, say if such and such a property is hot for criticism or praise, then making video about that because everybody is searching it is just one way to game the algorithm. So that if everybody's talking about, I don't know, Rings of Power, for an example. They say, okay, well, if everybody's sort of searching this on YouTube, then I might as well make a video and hopefully I'll make it through and people will find my content.
Yes, but usually you would like it if the person making that content actually cares about Lord of the Rings before they make something about Rings of Power.
Which is not me.
It would be me, but I didn't make anything about Rings of Power because I did not like it.
Yes, I believe, to quote the immortal philosopher Jules from Pulp Fiction, sewer rat may taste like pumpkin pie, but I'll never know because I'll never eat the filthy mother.
Well, I did eat 2 episodes, and that was enough for me.
I can't wait until we get into Star Trek Patrick Stewart season 3.
No!
We're going to catch the algorithm, baby. We're going to ride that wave.
I hope it. You know what? If it gets you more active subscribers, then it would be worth it.
The usual suspects that you have just named, they're all going to be talking about it, and they're going to be loafing all over it.
Every stream,
Well, so
Scotty, you
well, I
have to
will
bring up
do
film.
that
We don't
for you
know.
on your
We
channel.
do not know. We do not know. We have not seen it.
I do know.
No, you
But
don't. You're
No,
hypothesizing, which I value.
thank you. Thank you for valuing. Well,
I
because
do. I'm
every
interested.
other Kurtzman has been awful. So, and Terry Metalis is especially awful to other fans. So I don't know.
Well, the thing is, too, Jill, like,
Doesn't
even if it's
bode too
great,
well.
even if it turns out wonder of wonders to actually be watchable, I mean, I refuse to watch it because I'd be basically supporting all the filth that's come before it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
and
I said.
after.
Yeah, so
This-
I
this is
can't
an
do it. I can't
this is a-
watch it.
This is an interesting canyon with all the echoing.
Is there an echo?
Oh yeah.
Not,
I
I'm
don't
not
hear an
hearing it
echo.
here. I'm not.
No,
hearing it.
I just in terms of I've heard the line, and I don't want to say party line, but the line of nothing can be good if something that precedes it is bad, which I find
No, it's
always-
not that.
Well,
it could be great, but I don't want to
If
give them a
it's good-
boost by watching and putting up their viewer numbers.
It's very simple. If it's so great, it wouldn't be the last season. All right.
Well, being great for Kurtzman Drek is would be mediocre. So even if it's mediocre, that'll be great for Kurtzman Drek. But it's not going. It even if it is the best of the worst, supporting it supports the stuff that's going to be made later.
my-
that doesn't try to be good.
Yeah,
My
I can't
question is:
watch
Are you guys prepared to think about the cast of TNG the way you think about Patrick Stewart now?
That's scary.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying it's going
No.
to change your outlook on the entire TNG cast when you guys realize that they've done the same thing that Patrick Stewart has done.
Yeah, I can't watch Pacifist Wharf. That would be horrible.
We don't even know if that was just a joke.
Well, I doubt it.
joke?
Knowing
You
what
don't
they've
know?
done
They didn't
previously.
present it. They didn't present it in the trailer as a joke.
Yes, they did, because then
No, they
Riker.
didn't. It was-
Yes, they do. He says, "I'm a pacifist now," and then Riker says, "Oh, we're all gonna die," which is a punchline to Worf saying that he's a pacifist. I'm not defending it because I haven't seen it. And
Wow, that
all
wasn't
I'm
funny
saying-
to me at all.
No, that's fine. And if it wasn't funny to you, that's cool. And we'll go through it together. And like when we went through, like when Steve and I went through season 2, we started off and we were like, please be good, please be good, please be good. And it was not. It was
No, it
pooping
wasn't.
the bed, dumpster fire bad.
I couldn't make it past the 3rd episode of season
Ditto.
2.
Well, I
And
had to
the
watch
reason
all of it
why
just to
I didn't
see.
find it funny that Worf was a pacifist was because it looked like they were trying to set up Rafi to be Worf instead. And so that just didn't look good to me.
I
But
can't
again, you don't-
stand that character, and I haven't even watched.
That's
it,
the
but
drug addict, right?
I've seen enough
Yes.
reviews of her, and is my reaction every time I see her and hear about what kind of person she
Yeah,
is.
why
the
is she
most-
even in season
Ugh.
3 at all? I mean, what is she even there for?
Well, the most damning thing that I've heard so far from Terry Metalis is that he said you can't have season 3 without season 1 and 2 of Picard. So there
True.
you go. That's his support for, and he supports all of.
And it's still the
Secret
same
Hideout's
producers,
creations,
right? And
yes.
it's still the same producers and
Still
writers
under
of
Secret
season 1 and
Hideout.
2, right?
But I
Is
can't
it-
wait to talk to Scotty about it, and
If
I
it's-
can wait also.
Yeah, if it's the same writers, it's
I'm-
probably not.
I'm
gonna be
torn.
that
Yeah,
great.
it is. It's still the same showrunners. It's the same writers, same producers. Well, you guys
I-
think overnights are going to suddenly wake up and start doing things good?
Oh,
I-
and
I can totally understand your hesitance and I can understand your distrust. I'm not negating your feelings whatsoever, but to say with certainty about something that you have not yet seen, I do not understand that level of certainty.
no,
I get the
well,
point,
we didn't
Scotty.
Okay,
do
we
that
put it this
at
way:
all.
you get slapped in the face once, you get slapped in the face twice. When are you going to start learning to start ducking?
Well,
Put it
as
that
soon
way,
as
right?
as soon as I'm physically assaulted by a television show, I'll get back to you.
I think it was metaphorical what Pump said, not literal.
Well, no, I know, but I'm just saying it's not that bad. And again, if you dislike and you want to avoid it because you don't think that it's any good, and that's absolutely your prerogative. One
Well,
of
the
the
thing
things
is,
that I've been
it's
learning
not-
for the last little while
But Scotty,
is that it is
I-
okay for people to like things, and it's also okay to have people
No,
dislike
it's-
things.
I
I'm
know
not
it's-
angry.
I can see your point and even agree with it to a certain level, but you're not listening. What I'm saying is the reason I won't watch it is it's on principle. I cannot support anything, even if it is, not bad, because it just is associated with the stuff that's come before, which is very bad.
And Kurtzman will continue to be
Right.
light on all of the franchise until Secret Hideout no longer produces it. It's just
Right.
that simple.
And my problem, and the way I look at it is this: the way I look at it is like on my streams, I could easily cover it. I could even riff on it if I wanted to, but I'm not going to attract attention to the show, whether it be positive or negative.
Yes,
I'm not
that's
going to
why-
attract attention to anything that Kurtzman does, anything that Disney does, anything that Paramount. I'm not going to attract attention to it in any way, negative or positive, just so I can get subs.
Yes,
That's what
that's
too
why
many
I'm
people are
talking
doing,
about
which
it.
is sad.
That's why I'll talk about it with Scotty, but I won't. If I talk about it on my channel, I won't put it in the title. I won't.
Right,
of
because
my
good or bad, people are
stream.
doing that to draw attention to it, and that's not good.
Right,
Yeah,
because
agreed.
when I talked about Strange New Worlds, I talked about it on my Friday show, and I didn't put it in the title of my video.
If
Well,
we
it
don't
is-
talk about it and nobody talks about it, then it will die. But if people talk about it, it's going to thrive and it's going to keep doing well, and you're going to attract viewers to the show. That's what they
Hallelujah.
that's what they want you to do.
Paying
Well, and-
attention just gives Kurtzman more power, and
It
it's gonna
does.
grow like a
Right, it's
cancer.
their excuse to say, "See, people are watching it. See, people like it." So
Well, yeah,
No,
they
and
will.
I absolutely agree with you, and that's why I was sort of brainstorming to try and come up with a term that would sort of equate for all sides of the entertainment
Mhm.
culture wars. And it does come down exactly as you say it. Pop culture is if you start bad mouthing or criticizing at a cacophony of I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, you're doing exactly what the creators of the POS want you to do, which is draw attention to it. And that's why
Right.
I'm
But
trying
at
to
the
make
s-
I'm
Mhm.
trying to make the idea of it's greed preaching. What you're doing is imposing a morality or imposing a set of views for the purposes of profit. And that is what the quote unquote, moralistic, degenerate Hollywood, if that's the way you want to
But-
put it, are doing with their ideologies. And that's what the YouTube communities are doing by saying this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, because you're
Is-
attracting people.
But at
who
the same
dislike it.
time,
As
silence
soon as
is
I'm allowed to
consent.
finish a sentence, that would be glorious.
Okay. Go
That-
ahead, Scotty,
I'm done.
sorry.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
No, I just wanted to say that silence is also consent at the same time. So
I
there's a
disagree with that
balancing
statement.
act between promoting it just because you don't like it.
well, I understand that, but I have to disagree, Jill. I don't think silence is consent at all. I think
Yeah, I-
silence means you don't care anymore.
Exactly.
Is it imposing a morality when
Well, that's the
Duke
thing. I
you
do
know,
care about
discusses it?
Star Trek still.
Well, you
when
think there's
Duke
hope for it?
discusses it
No, well-
and criticizes it, is that imposing a morality, or is he just offering his opinion?
Well, if you have a group that are attracted to the negativity of any property, and like if let's say I don't like country music, and I start up a channel that is nothing but bashing country music, and then a whole bunch of people who don't like country music come to my channel and everyone wants to make fun of it, they're sort of rallying around my greed preaching, because all I'm doing is reinforcing a distaste when the proper course of action, and I agree with pop culture in this, is apathy. If you don't like something,
Yeah.
it doesn't deserve your attention.
That's
well,
what I was trying
that
to
would
say.
only make sense if you were talking about country music today versus the only equivalent to that is if you did love country music, but you don't like what it's turned into.
Oh, exactly, Jill. I love old school country like Johnny Cash and all
But
that stuff.
But this
But
is
the
also
new stuff I can't stand because it's basically bad pop music. It's not real country to my
But-
ears.
this is something that again, in terms of my personal growth, in terms of grappling with things that I don't like when it comes to Marvel post Endgame, like it just doesn't exist for me anymore. It's like Star Wars post Revenge of the Sith. Although I had a conversation with a person the other day and saying that anything other than the original trilogy is just trimmings anyway. But I'm not going to talk about Andor, and people are like, "Oh, you got to try it. You got to like," and it's like, I don't think that there's anything more to tell with that story. And so I don't really want to see it. Now, the reason that I want to watch season 3 of Patrick Stewart with Jill is because she is such a knowledgeable Star Trek fan. And I'm hopeful. She is pragmatic, I would say, in terms of what she's expecting. And I don't want to speak for you, Jill, but is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. I'm going to watch the episode for what it is and present my arguments through what I see.
And who knows and we've already said we're going to watch it until we absolutely cannot anymore, or we may plow through it. It depends on whether or not it lives up to my expectations or it fails in terms of your fears.
Hey,
Well, I
guys.
had a lot of fun talking to Clobburn Times about what he called strange nude worms, so I think this will be good.
I really would like to, listen to your discussions on this. Have you picked a day or time yet when it's going to happen?
Once we're done with Quantum Leap season 2, the following week is when Patrick Stewart season 3 comes out.
Okay.
And even in the vernacular that I'm using, like I am obviously hesitant with it if I'm still referring to it in the perfect way that Jill coined in the first place.
Oh, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, both of you. That would be awesome. I'll definitely have to tune in.
Let me ask you a question, Scotty. Let's say if you guys start reviewing Picard season 3. Let's just say halfway through. I don't know how many episodes, but let's just say halfway through. Okay, first of all, let's say you guys start reviewing it and you realize it's bringing you subs by giving it attention, whether it's negative or bad. It's bringing you subs. And let's say halfway through the season, you guys realize this is bad. We don't want to watch anymore. Will you continue watching it knowing that it's getting you subs? Or will you stop watching it out of principle and say,
I think that Scotty and I make videos because we enjoy the conversation that we have, and that's the reason why we make our videos.
No, but I'm saying, what will you do if the show is bad if you don't like it? Is what I'm saying.
If we no longer enjoy the conversation, then we'll stop talking about it.
And that's exactly correct. Like the Phantasmagorium show, that channel, the way that it was started and the way that we intended is that we try and talk about things that we like and things that we love, as opposed to drawing attention, as you said, to things that just don't deserve it. And that's what happened with season 2 of Patrick Stewart, because we started it. I think we did 2 or 3 episodes, and both Steve and I were just like, do we even want to review it? And we were like, no. And it was getting some attention, but after a while, it's like, it doesn't even matter if it's getting attention. If we're just watching it, getting frustrated with it, and then spewing bile all over our computer screens, then we're not having fun.
Yeah, see, that's why I unsub from Gary at Nerdrotic. It seems like that's all their show is about. Selling on bad stuff every week.
Yeah.
I don't like to say bad things about other channels, but yes, I have noticed a negative tendency on that note. And well, he'd always complained before, but it was more like, it used to be more like comic book store, where he would talk about the things he loved and then also talk about things he didn't like, and the balance has shifted a bit.
I stopped watching Gary a long time ago because I just find him so negative. Like I couldn't take what he was doing on his channel anymore. So I just stopped watching him.
And there are so many channels out there that I think I had a purge at the end of spring, beginning of summer of last year. And I was just like, no, I don't want to watch, because all I'm doing is getting upset. And then there was a moment where there was something that I enjoyed. And then people were starting to say, if you enjoy this, then you're dumb. And I was like, okay,
that's not right.
No, and I don't think it is, but I think it is something that happens. I think that is something, because you do get surrounded by people who agree with you that it's bad.
It's an echo chamber, Scotty.
Right, exactly. And that's what
thing I like about you so much, Scotty, is we can debate, we can even argue, but it's always fun because we both respect each other's opinions, even if we disagree with them.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's such fun.
And I appreciate that sort of that sharing of ideas, and it's just weird to be. It's weird to be in a space where, when you are sort of, there are channels out there who are saying that the creators dislike the audience so much, and then you have people who actually care for a property, even if it isn't popular to like such a property, and then they say, well, if you do like it, you're dumb. It's like, well, you're no better than the creators that you're attacking in the first place.
Yeah, too much negativity. I can't take it after a while, and I just go and watch something else, right?
Exactly.
Which is why I love Jill Stream so much, because she's, even if she's critiquing something and sometimes criticizing something that she strongly disagrees with or doesn't enjoy, she's always basically positive and fun, and that's why I like her channel so much.
Thank you.
And that's why it's fun to have like Gorilla's random thoughts.
It sincerely.
That's why it's nice to have Gorilla's random thoughts.
Oh, Gorilla's hilarious. I love.
PAS or the original
He's always
series.
giving it an F.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, well, if you, and I know he does it as a joke and to play, and sometimes he's serious, but it's
It's a
like
running gag.
it's good to talk and sort of like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And so instead of just being like, "Rah," and I don't think that's the way Gorilla is, but like,
No,
it's just,
I think he's pretty nice, actually.
I
Well,
like the
Gorilla,
play.
he loves the underdog.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
the underdog. I thought you meant the cartoon.
No, I mean like anything that somebody really, really hates, he tries to find the good in it, and that's really great about him.
Yeah,
Right.
I like
He even
this.
has a defensive stream where he pulls up garbage that everybody else hates and tries or attempts to defend it.
I
Oh,
do like his
nice.
contrarian viewpoint. Yeah, it's fun.
Except for Microwave Massacre. He said that's the only one that broke him, of course.
Oh, ooh, that sounds. No, I don't want to watch that.
What is
Which
it
one?
called?
The Microwave Massacre, and I happen to like it, and I'll be covering it on my horror stream eventually.
Oh, that sounds
It
gory.
sounds great. It sounds funny.
Oh.
It's one of it's exactly it's one of those that is so bad that it's hilarious.
So what happened? Do they put things in the microwave and? Oh, I don't even want to think about
Well,
It
I saw
stars
Gremlins
it stars
for it.
Jackie Vernon, the same guy who supplied the voice of Frosty the Snowman in the cartoon, in the Rankin Bass cartoon.
Oh, no way.
Wow.
Right.
That's
And
bizarre.
he's got a henpecked wife who nags at him all the time, and
Oh,
he's
my.
a construction worker. It's a very badly acted, low budget movie, but hilarious. It's funny.
That's
That
great.
sounds. Yeah, that sounds
And
good. Actually.
Dark Helmet says, "You all have fun watching Picard season 3. I don't have to watch it then." Yeah, I think that if you don't like Kurtzman Trek, then do not watch Picard season 3. Do not subscribe to Paramount Plus unless you're reviewing it. If you're not reviewing it, there's no reason to bother. To hate watch. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see the need for if somebody disagrees with somebody for watching something, I don't see the need for calling them dumb because they have a different opinion.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I ran into that, and I was just sort of put off by certain channels. But again, I don't want to say, and I have so much respect for a lot of those channels for a lot of aspects. Like, and I don't agree with Doomcock on a lot of the recorded stuff, but I think that Friday Night Frolics is entertaining because it's a much more positive show.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
That is
Yeah.
him. That is actually
I think
him.
that's the real guy. Yeah. I think Doomcock just even when he critiques and rants about things he doesn't like, though, I think he does it out of concern and love to defend popular
That's exactly
culture.
why he doesn't make videos about things he doesn't care about.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
po-
is
it's
one
positive.
thing positive about him.
It's still positive. Exactly, Jill. Yeah.
Dark Helmet says, "Look at Velma. It's trash, and I bet they keep making more of it, even when no one is watching." And I was
Yeah.
wondering if anybody was ever going to bring up that show today. Because
I heard
I
that
don't know.
Netflix.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I've
anything about
seen
it.
stuff on here the last few days, and it doesn't sound like it's much fun.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Netflix disbanded their animation department. So if that's true, that means there's no more of it's going to be happening.
It's an HBO
What?
Max show, though.
Well,
Oh,
HBO
Max.
Max. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Oh,
Whatever
okay.
channel it is.
They
Which is
they
so
seem to be dropping a whole lot of things.
well, and it's the new Warner Brothers sort of ownership and everything like that. But it's I with Velma, there are two reasons that I don't want to watch it, and one of them is it's a Scooby Doo show without Scooby Doo. So what's the point? And the other thing is the reviews that I have read. I haven't seen anything. Most of the reviews come out that say Velma, a show that you ask yourself while you're watching it, why does this exist?
Yeah, I've heard it's woke trash, basically.
I see greed preaching, if that's what it is, and I think
No,
they're
I mean,
just
I
trying
just,
to get
you know,
an
I haven't
established
actually
property
looked
to ruin
into
it.
deeply, Scotty. It's just that, you know, I do skim through YouTube, you know, a few hours a week. Just, well, you know, you get things popping up in your channel feed, right? And I've just looked at some of the channels, you know, talking about it, and it doesn't seem like anybody's saying anything positive. So seems to be a consensus. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
even the professional reviewers are saying it's not good.
Really? Okay.
And it's still all it is proof that instead of them coming up with the original idea for their platform, they take an existing property and destroy it so they can make it their platform. This
That's
is
the
another
word.
example of that.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is what they use
Right.
IPs for.
Right,
In
there-
many
there-
instances.
Exactly. Their
Yeah.
intention is not to tell us a story, not to entertain us, but it's to preach to us their propaganda.
But it's okay because we got lots of old Scooby Doo. I mean, that's what we're into. There it is.
And also, they're dismantling the things we love, which is the most upsetting part of it all.
Yeah,
for myself.
the worst part is the worst effect of all of it is what Snortopoopus Cuber says here. He says he can't watch TNG anymore, and
Yeah.
that has happened to a lot of Star Trek fans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
me
Star
too.
Wars,
I
Star
just
Wars
can't do
too.
it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's. I almost think that's their intention of the producers. They want to just make you hate the entire franchise. If,
Well, I
if that's
think
what they want, they're doing a good job of it.
I mean, I used to love Patrick Stewart when it was airing the original run of
I did too.
TNG.
There was a time where Patrick Stewart was my
He was-
second captain.
He was
Not-
like an acting
not
god, you
anymore.
know? He was so good.
I'm
in
even embarrassed just to admit that.
he was so good in the well written, really good episodes, right, Jill? I mean, he would get on screen and he was like captivating the way he delivered that dialogue, you know.
Yes.
But I just
Well, the
can't
problem
watch
is now
it
you have too much of the actors seeping through. Is they're asking him his opinion? How do you think Picard should act? What do you think Picard
Yeah.
should do?
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
not capable or qualified to make those decisions, but it doesn't matter. They do it anyway.
Yeah,
Well,
actors
and-
should just act.
the main thing with that, and I think I stopped sort of caring about Patrick Stewart after Star Trek Nemesis when I found out that he was the one who was responsible for the dune buggy chase in Nemesis. And I
Oh
was like,
yes,
you clearly don't know what you're doing, sir.
I kind of love that scene. It was so bad. It was great. In a
Yeah,
weird way.
and really, the dune buggy just had to fly perfectly into the shuttlecraft. That's
Oh,
Right.
that was my favorite part of the film. I think it was just like I was laughing my butt
I think
off.
he was jealous because he knew that he could never be Captain Kirk. I think is what it was. I think he knew
Well-
he could never live up to William Shatner's.
Kirk is the only
oh,
captain,
yeah.
really.
He
Well, I
wanted to
like
be an
David
action
Cooper
hero.
books, too.
Oh no, I haven't, James Caserta.
Uh-oh.
He says, "Did you see the promo for Strange New Worlds season 2?
I haven't.
Intolerable," he says,
Uh-oh.
and I have not seen it.
Neither
And
have I.
Sounds like
I-
it's getting better.
I'm so disgusted with season 1, and I know there are a lot of people who like it, so I respect your opinion if you do have joy for it, because I understand that at least it's not as woke as all of the rest of Kurtzman Trek. So
Oh,
I
my
can
s-
get why some people like it, but I don't.
Just looking at the season 2 exclusive clip, the Ortega's, the helms person for the Enterprise has a Mo Howard haircut.
Oh, nice.
God.
Mo Howard haircut.
Yeah, from the Three Stooges.
Oh my!
A bowl haircut. Yeah, a bowl haircut.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I have
wow.
to see this
Yeah.
stupid thing.
I'm gonna mute myself while I watch.
Share
it.
it with
my.
us, Jill.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
Jill, show us. 'Cause I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
yet. I'm
please,
curious.
please, Jill.
So do we get Larry and Curly too?
I don't know. It's only one
Oh my
screenshot.
God.
But Jill, do you want to see
I'll
it? We
watch
can
it.
break
If we
it up
get-
and talk.
Yeah.
Like pause it every couple of seconds.
Yeah, if we get the Three
Yeah.
Stooges, I'll watch.
Yeah. Oh, but
That's a Three Stooges thing.
all right. Let me find it
Yeah.
because it's going to be Will Wheaton, and I don't want to see any of the
What?
Will Wheaton parts.
Oh.
Well, I'm looking for the
Oh,
actual promo.
right.
Oh
Sorry,
my! Oh
it's
my,
gonna be
oh
from
my.
Ready Room or whatever that show is.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
The only thing that likes Will Wheaton is Will Wheaton.
Well, he definitely loves himself. I guess that's a good thing.
Well, he's grasping onto it because it's his only sense of him thinking he's a celebrity. Without that, he'd have nothing.
Wow.
Well, he was in season 2 of Patrick Stewart.
He was. Oh,
I
Not-
heard.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
not surprised.
Yeah, it's
Uh.
not good. It's almost it's the definition of shoehorn.
Desperation.
Oh, maybe it's this. No,
Hey, PDB
no,
is
I
here.
have
Hey,
no
PDB.
idea. I have no idea what this promo is or where it is. Oh, is this it? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, I found
Okay.
it.
Cool. Let's boldly go.
Ugh.
Does it help if you mute it or no? As
I
far
don't
as not
know.
getting a strike.
I'll just pause.
Yeah, be careful, Joe.
Okay.
We don't have the stream suddenly end.
How
due to,
dare I try to promote their stupid show that I don't
Yeah.
even like?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get the copy thing either, really.
Isn't that the J.J. Abrams Enterprise or no?
Wow, great
Uh,
special effects.
Right. State of the art.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Looks TNG.
Oh man, I do
Yeah.
not care for this set design.
No, it
Remember
looks like
when-
a hotel in Vegas.
It looks
Remember
like
when-
It looks like 90s or something. It's just It doesn't look
Let's start with that.
futuristic
There
to
we go.
me.
Remember when Scotty showed up on the Enterprise?
No.
God, that's
that haircut.
No, that's not. Mo Howard wasn't that bad. He didn't have the side shave
that's-
on the side like that.
That's horrendous.
Who's
That's
Mo
like
Howard?
That's like a
He was-
Three Stooges.
he was
Three
the Three
Stooges.
Stooges.
Oh, of course.
He's the
Right,
main guy.
Right. He didn't
Gotcha.
shave the sides of his head like she had. What she has is kind of like a mohawk, but it's not really standing up yet.
Oh my God, that's so bad. I
She
can't
has
believe
a
I'm saying
stripe.
that.
It's a stripe down the top of the head.
I can't
So
believe I'm saying this.
So here we are. Forefront. First thing they're giving us is diversity, what they call diversity, which is actually less than 1% of the
Well,
population.
no, but this show isn't.
I
even
have no
woke, so-
problem with diversity as long as
It's just-
diversity of thought is
It's
represented
just
as well.
they're just really
No, they're-
disrespectful.
but
Oh,
they're
look at
being
those ears.
Oh,
You know, Spock's ears are pretty bad.
Spock's.
Oh, why did you cut
Nimoy
his hair
had
like
great
that?
ears. These guys have screwed up ears. They don't
Gee,
look right.
And I like how they focus on her, isn't it? Or her, him, they, bit, whatever it is. Don't you love it?
I can't stand that.
Look at those,
haircut.
and you got 3 boxes they ticked right there before they show any I guess it's white people.
Yeah, I hate it when I saw
Oh.
Sulu and Uhura and Chekhov.
Everybody has
away
the
at
sides
the
of their
same
head.
time.
Everyone has the
look
sides
at
of their
those
head shaved.
ears. They look like fake ears. They look
Well,
like
it's only
novelty
that, but
ears. Look at
he's
that.
He's got the sides of his head shaved. They both do. All of them do.
Well,
Why?
he's
Yeah.
talking now. I wonder, do we want to hear it?
But at least
Does it help?
Nimoy's ears, they taped him back, right? So they look
Yes.
good.
But he also had hair on the side of his head. He didn't shave both sides of his head like this.
Oh
guy
yeah,
did.
the TOS haircuts were awesome.
Yes, they were.
I can't
Between
get
two large
over-
celestial bodies that orbited around just several centuries ago.
Can't you just say 2 moons?
I could, but that would be leaping to a conclusion.
What the?
I don't know. Something about 2 moons.
Analysis is underway, but I would merely characterize the fragments as volatile.
And look at that smug look on her face. Look at that because a white man's talking. Look at that.
That's not what I'm interpreting from that.
Oh, me neither. I don't know.
On we go. Let's get to that shuttle bay and have ourselves a landing.
She rolled her eyes at him.
Okay, yes, she did. You're right.
Yeah, he was talking. She rolled her eyes at
Maintaining
Spock.
stability
Right
will
there, she should
require
be beamed into
piloting Enterprise
space.
McCoy rolled his
The
eyes at
fragments
Spock.
and the gravity shifts. I'll
McCoy
have to
never
make
rolled his
manual
eyes at
adjustments.
Spock.
Sure he did.
He
Have
poked fun at him, but
ourselves-
he always took Spock seriously. He never rolled his eyes. He would
Have
joke with
our-
him, but go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Pop. Sorry.
He never dismissed him, and that's what she did. She dismissed him and rolled her eyes.
I mean,
that's,
have
that's new
ourselves
Trek right there.
Yeah, have ourselves a landing. I mean, that's not really great writing in my book.
Yeah,
In the
she's going to
episode-
prove to this man that she's right. You just watch.
In the episode Court Martial, McCoy walks into a room where Spock is playing chess, and McCoy completely rips a strip off of Spock.
He does not roll his eyes to him or dismiss him, though. Is what I'm saying.
No, he says, "I can't believe it. You're the most inhuman piece of trash I ever saw in my entire life. You
which is
monster."
right, which is totally different than what we just saw.
Sarcasm versus a verbal attack.
That's McCoy being McCoy, though.
No, I'm talking about insubordination from somebody who is Spock. I'm guessing outranks her, right? According to the story. But she's rolling her eyes to a commanding officer. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, so wouldn't Spock be second in command, basically?
Yeah.
No, third. He's the science officer.
So
not
we
the
have
executive
no
officer.
discipline on this ship. We have insubordination. where
But
people
when
just
it
roll their eyes
matters,
whenever
when
somebody's
it matters, so McCoy and Spock will have jabs at each other when when things are okay, when things are not dire, but when things are important, they do work together, and they professionally they are good teammates.
Yeah.
Well, Spock and McCoy really do love each other deep
They
down.
do, right.
They just can't admit it because they both have. I mean, they both have pride, right? Even Spock has it because he's half human. He doesn't show it, maybe, but it's there.
But just imagine, for example, like let's say if you're watching Star Trek TOS, Kirk gives a command and they show Spock roll his eyes to the command. Can you imagine? That's what I'm talking about. You don't do that to a commanding officer. You don't do that. There would be immediate discipline and everybody would crack down
it's
on
like,
it immediately.
It's like when Commodore Decker took over the Enterprise in the Doomsday Machine. I mean, Spock didn't like it. Spock protested. Spock warned him. He said, I would advise against it. But he still respected Decker's, authority over
Exactly.
him.
Well, we
and
do
let
know
him
that
sit in
TOS
the
gets
chair,
it right. But I do
Yeah.
want to get through this because I don't
Yeah,
want to
sorry,
have this
Jill.
on my screen
Sorry,
too
Jill.
long.
I talk too much.
Every 20 minutes, our lights out Enterprise.
I'm glad you get it. We need you here keeping Enterprise safe.
Hi, Captain. But who's gonna fly the shuttle through all that choppy sky and radiation?
So
Who
who's
is getting
gonna
most of the screen time in this trailer? Can you guess?
Ortega.
So who's the star of the show, the real star?
I may not be Eric Ortegas, but I was a test pilot, remember? We'll get
How
you
about
next
a
time.
beta
Promise.
male?
Oh, he's gonna fly it.
Man.
He's gonna fly it.
The captain's going to fly it. Okay.
That is an eager pilot wanting to go on a mission.
Oh, that haircut! It looks.
Jesus,
It does look
Christ.
awful.
That
You're
is
right.
the
Well,
freakiest looking haircut.
the whole thing is about a drawing attention. It's to draw attention, is what it is.
In a bad way.
Just
Look at that. Look at the way she's treated. Look at that.
leave people alone.
She
Look at the
should
way
be in
she's talking to a commanding officer like that. Can you imagine that?
She should be in the brig, as far as I'm concerned.
Sorry.
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 Oh, okay.
When did Spock ever say sorry?
Right, she
to
put him in
anybody?
his place. She told him.
Vulcan
Yeah,
doesn't
she told
say
him all
sorry.
right. I'll
Man.
show him. Yeah, there you go. And
Oh.
then turn and leave him standing there.
Oh, that looks
My God.
awful.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah, it was intolerable, James Caserta. You're right.
Yeah, so we now know who the star of the show is, obviously, right? Like who got the most screen time
Well,
in
at
that
least
trailer.
the star
From
of
one
that
scene,
episode.
from one episode.
I'm still trying to figure out what that hairstyle looks like. A muskrat, a dead skunk.
Yeah, but if you do compare it to season 1, she was the one who was always saying things on the bridge that were contradictory to whatever the captain was saying, and
Oh boy.
And she still does.
diminished him. And
Oh, the last part of that was her and Spock. That was just
Well, yeah.
weird.
Well, first she pretty much dressed down the captain. He leaves, and then she dresses down Spock,
Totally.
and then she leaves when he never said dismissed.
But
That's
it's a
true.
pseudo military organization. There's always been argument as to
Yeah,
the
but you
level
don't
of
disrespect
military.
Scotty, that is
commanding
not how you
officers.
treat commanding officers,
Not,
Scotty.
not
In
that
a real
never
military
happened.
on
Right.
Earth in the 21st century. I
This
agree.
isn't no, but this is the CW in hallways.
Another thing,
Yeah.
the costume design. Did anybody else find those costumes dreary, dark?
they were not fun.
boring?
They were definitely not fun.
They were horrible looking to my
Hail,
in
Sean.
my
Good to see you there.
eyes. But
Hey,
yeah,
Sean.
they weren't fun at all.
No, there was a certain respect that the crew had for one another in all of Star Trek up until 2005. That even in the I don't like the JJ movies, but even the JJ movies kept some of that respect. It all went out of the window when
Be right back, got
when
a phone
Secret
call.
Hideout got a hold
Yeah.
of it, and it hasn't come back yet. In any case that I've seen.
Yeah, it's just such bad writing. It just doesn't work.
I don't think that you can adequately judge. Now, I'm not defending it, but I'm just saying, in terms of the sample, I don't know if you can judge an entire episode
Well,
or an entire season based
don't-
on less than 2 minutes of screen
Well, no,
time
but it's
Well,
kind of
of
fun
this
true.
sassy
to,
character.
But
yeah, she is.
don't they generally put the best stuff in a trailer
Sassy
to
is the wrong
attract an
word.
audience?
No, because Patrick Stewart's in all the
If that's
season
the
3
best
of
stuff,
Picard.
like yikes.
And hey, then I invite you to avoid.
All right, there we go.
Anyway, after seeing that trailer, I'm going to go pour myself a drink. I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Make it a stiff or a double, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
Which
something
one?
like that. Well, I actually bought myself some bourbon yesterday after work just to treat myself because I was looking forward to the Friday the 13th stream so much because I had a feeling this could be a special.
It's just you can just tell that they hate men. You can-
Oh
they
my
just-
god. Okay. No. Okay. Oh, I have so much chat I can't even get to.
Well,
PDB
good. I'll
says
be
a
back.
man crouches over a plate and says, "How do you know it's going to be shit? It hasn't even come out yet." Oh, PDB, you're hilarious. Thank you.
No, but it's their contempt for men is so obvious. It's like, come on.
It's horrible. Yes.
Yeah, think about it. Without men, this world would not go around. Our humans
Of course.
would
No.
not
I
exist
like
any
men.
longer.
They're great.
Men need women,
Right.
and women need men. I mean, that's just a natural fact. I know
Yeah.
they like to disagree with
We've
that,
we've been doing the stance for millions of years. And
which they're they're putting a stop to it. But, they're trying to destroy families. They're trying to destroy men. They're trying to destroy relationships.
But luckily, we're not destroyed here on this channel.
No.
Brian Hepburn says Pike was depressed, but the only person he displayed that to was the Dr. Boyce in his quarters. Oh, yeah, for the very first, for the cage. In the cage. That is correct. They did have a heart-to-heart there about how he wasn't sure he wanted to be captain.
Right. I wouldn't say he goes as far as being depressed. I'd say he was confiding with his doctor, his doubts.
Yes, he had doubts about his leadership
Right.
because of what happened in the previous mission.
And that's
he
what the
wondered-
doctor is for, right?
Yeah,
And the
he
whole
wondered-
point is not to do that in front of your crew, right?
Mhm. Yeah, he didn't do that in front of his crew. That was good. That was a good scene. I really liked the cage.
And Donnie Pearson says, my 2 words to those who are skipping the final season of Picard and beyond for good. Fair enough. Agreed.
Yes, I respect anyone who wants to not watch that.
Yeah, I didn't watch the first 2 either, so.
Admiral Teague says less than 2 minutes of script is not just any 2 minutes, but a trailer. It's a false equivalence to say it's just any 2 minutes.
And I don't like the first season of Strange New Worlds at all by any stretch of the imagination, but I just don't think it's a fair statement to say, the whole thing is bad. The whole thing is bad based on focusing on a character that admittedly I don't think any of us really care for.
No, I can't think of a moment that I
No,
liked
I
her,
just-
except for maybe that one episode where she was like this fantasy character. And it wasn't even a good episode, but she was different. And it made me realize, of course, I don't hate the actors or the actresses or anything.
Of course.
They're totally fine. It's just the writing that's terrible.
What do you think about Patrick Stewart, what he's done? Do you feel upset about him or no?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's part of the writing crew. So
Yes, so right. So I'm saying, so don't you think that kind of crosses the line between
it does.
whether you should blame the actor or not?
That's true. That's a good point. And PDB
Admiral
says,
Teague is right.
Well,
There's
Admiral
a-
Teague has an opinion.
he does.
Well,
But
because the
he-
trailer is supposed to represent what you're about to watch. That's how they're telling you or asking you to watch the show. They're not going to show you something that's not going to be part of the show. They're going to show you what they think is the best parts of the show.
Oh, you're talking about when Admiral Teague says, it's the trailer they chose, though, isn't it? It's what they wanted us to see first. It is. They call it
Yes.
a teaser.
The teaser,
Right.
yeah.
And that's why I say again, look who got the most screen time. It's always about screen time, people.
Mhm. And PDB
Who
says,
got the most dialogue and who got the most screen, right? Sorry, go ahead.
yes, smell is 90% of taste, and I trust my sense of pattern recognition.
Well, huzzah, PDB.
PDB's cool.
Oh, back.
What? Oh, I put that on screen, but I don't think I'm going to read it.
No.
It was funny. Just be happy that it made me laugh.
So that's a teaser. Now I'll tell you.
You're right, James.
A
Pike
teaser-
diminishes himself.
You're right. He's like, because his attitude was, oops, sorry, I think I'm interrupting here. I'll just leave. That was basically what we just saw of him.
Shouldn't a teaser make you want more?
Mhm.
And
Shouldn't it
didn't-
show you
it
how
didn't
brave the men
succeed.
are?
That's the
don't
whole
think
point
it-
of a teaser, though, is it not to make you want
To entice you,
more? Yeah.
Right, because and okay, and now, but my question for you guys is: by watching this trailer, who was it made for?
I love Dalek. Well, I don't know who that was made for. I still can't figure out who is enjoying it. Dalek 451 says, "What's worse is that she has an exaggerated British accent. Stop making us Brits look so bad."
Yeah. Exterminate.
Well, okay, wait. I do know that Gorilla likes it, so it'd be interesting
Uh-oh.
to talk about each episode with him because I don't like it.
Sorry.
Chapel only got one after he nearly killed her from Ponfar.
I don't know what that refers to. Brent.
Chapel
I don't
got
know
what?
either. I was trying to think, when did this happen?
Only got one after he nearly killed
Brian
her.
Hepburn, but it's really good to see Brian Hepburn.
So Spock
Yeah.
and Chapel got it on in this series?
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't be
Ponfar kinda-
surprised.
They
There's
Ponfar
talked.
implies that.
Well, but I thought Spock in the new series doesn't he have sex all the time? There's no Ponfar anymore, isn't that right?
Well, and
Right.
that's a basic misunderstanding of what Ponfar is.
If you're reading
Oh,
the
not this
novels,
discussion again.
And if
only
you're
if you're reading the
we don't want to
novels.
change what Ponfar is.
Oh.
I want a Ponfar to be what it was in canon. I don't want to
Every
change what the new
7
Ponfar
years.
is.
Ponfar, based
Every
on
step.
the author DC Fontana, isn't
In the
necessarily that Spock. Well, based and the novel, yeah, but written by DC Fontana.
I get the gravitas that she has.
We've heard this argument before, Scotty.
I know, and
But
until
in the
it is
novel,
And you're gonna
accepted,
insist that we hear
it will
it
be
again.
accepted as soon as they take DC Fontana's wonderful novel and put it on a movie screen. Then it will be canon.
It's just like the
Wow.
salmon, right? Every 7 years, Spock has to swim back to Vulcan and mate.
that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't get to make out with chicks in the interim.
But he's no. That's
But
not
is it
Vulcan.
logical to do so?
Yeah,
And
it's not logical.
well, no, the question is, the fact is, it's against his character. Period.
And also,
Yes,
Vulcan's
especially because he fights between his human and his Vulcan side,
Right.
and he's chosen his Vulcan side, so he's going to
Right.
be more Vulcan than
He's chosen a
the
life of
purest
logic.
Vulcan.
And
Right.
Vulcan society suppresses their carnal desires and their, animal side in favor of their logical side.
And that's what we like about Spock. That's what makes
That's what
Spock
makes him
the
great.
most popular character on the show.
Yeah,
That's what makes him
that's
great.
why I
Because he's
admire him
celibate?
for his pursuit of knowledge.
Because he's logical.
And discipline.
Yes.
And
And
Admiral
extremely
Teak says
intelligent.
the star of the trailer is the bad haircut. It's just thrown at you like a.
Well, it is. That's why she even
Oh.
kept taking the hat off. I mean, they made sure all the attention was on her that entire trailer.
The Godfather says, I'm gonna go work on stuff, relax, watch stuff that isn't awful until I do that again. Good day, Jill, Dark Helmet, Admiral Teague, Donnie Pearson, and Lord Hoth.
Take care.
You have a great day, The Godfather. I think I missed him. That was about 10 minutes ago. Because I'm actually I'm going backwards in the chat. I don't know how I got caught doing that, but I'm doing
Good
it.
to see you, Godfather.
And PDB says when Data commanded the Enterprise, Worf faced immediate discipline for questioning his decisions.
Absolutely,
I
PDB.
remember that. That was a great scene, yeah. Data called him
Yes.
into the command room, into Picard's room, and basically tore a strip off him.
It made me wish that we had the Captain Data show.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
Closest you get is Redemption Part 2, I think.
Yeah, right. And Redemption, yeah.
That's the one where he takes command of the Nebula class starship, and then Mr. Hobson gets all up in his grill.
Right, because he's a racist against androids.
Speaking of Worf, is there not a Worf episode coming up on Saturday Night Trek this weekend?
Yes, there will be.
Yeah, I think it's a good one too, if I remember correctly. Oh, speaking of that, watch party for DS9?
Yes, on Saturday.
Cool.
Hmm.
Just wanted to check. But yeah, that was a great scene when Data, I mean, man, that's the thing, TNG, sometimes it could really be great. It really could be, but it's hard to watch
Yes.
now.
Yes, because Data was very thoughtful and clear, and every act that he made was really great.
Yeah. And he was
In that
funny
episode.
too.
Mhm.
Sometimes he had some great one-liners. I mean, Data
And
could
Worf
be
did
hilarious.
really great too when he in that one episode where he was second in command on the Klingon ship with his brother.
Oh yeah, I love that episode. That's a great one. Well, that was part of the Klingon Civil War storyline, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that that whole sequence of episodes. Man, those were great. I could still watch those again, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
just
my
can't get
goodness.
over that haircut.
I agree, Admiral.
What did Admiral say?
Their
I'm
haircut
just
is
all
thrown
over
at you like a grenade.
Oh yeah, I did read that. Yes.
It is severe, yes.
And Dark Helmet says, I still watch TNG and the others up to Enterprise. They want us not to watch TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. Although TOS was never a big thing for him, for Dark Helmet. Yeah, right. That's why when they canceled Enterprise, they destroyed the Star Trek experience, because that was basically a little mini theme park for Star Trek fans to enjoy all of Star Trek up until, well, DS9, I think, is what DS9 and TNG were featured.
Well,
Yeah.
And I wish I could have gone.
Me too.
Yeah, I wish I had seen that too.
But when it comes to like the Kurtzman Trek, I agree with you guys wholeheartedly that they understand very little about the core philosophy of Star Trek. They don't understand, and they do insert far too much of modern sensibilities. And I mean that in terms of dude, bro, Valley Girl, sarcasm, eye rolling, clueless, Alicia Silverstone-esque camaraderie, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that I get that, and I understand that completely. And it's just a question of, and as Dark Helmet just said, the original series is not for not for everyone, but at the very least, it had a timeless feel to it, aside from certain moments of addressing sexism or racism.
It is
what
pretty
have
timeless. Yeah, that's why it's so popular after over half a century, because it still blows up. It's still
Agreed.
great.
And I don't
Because-
think the Kurtzman Trek does get that at all.
No, it
Oh,
doesn't.
Kurtzman Trek will be forgotten in 50 years, I'm sure.
It says it wants to go through those things, but it doesn't do it with any respect to the intelligence of its audience.
Well, the thing is, Kurtzman Trek, it doesn't, it's not like the 23rd century. It's not futuristic. It's like contemporary society today, basically in a sci-fi setting. And it just,
Exactly.
it doesn't work.
Yes. Well, and yes. And the number one thing that threw me off, like aside from, well, it's the first episode of Discovery where the Federation decided to commit war crimes, followed by season 1 of Patrick Stewart, where they decided it was okay to have slavery in their synthetic humans.
Well, that's
And
another
they
thing.
did.
You
Right?
don't even know what you're doing, guys.
Yeah, the
But-
way they destroyed the integrity of the Federation was appalling.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't know why they went straight for that kind of terrible route, because there's a way to be dark with Star Trek and be good. It was called Deep Space Nine.
Exactly.
Well, it's because it's easier to write for a dystopia when you have a bunch of intelligent writers who apparently are not happy with themselves or their lives, and they
Yeah.
can't write anything positive or
And-
look or forward thinking. It's just
Yeah.
not possible.
Well, it's the exact opposite of what Star Trek always was, before, right?
It is. It's the exact opposite, and that's what Gene Roddenberry challenged the writers with. Was exactly that.
Yeah.
Well, and
It is more difficult to write a utopia and make it
absolutely.
interesting and fun and engaging.
But a lot of it is your outlook. If you're somebody with a constant negative outlook, it's going to be almost impossible for you to write a utopia.
And that is why I try and subscribe to the philosophy of Star Trek of hopefulness and anticipation and
Teamwork.
teamwork. And there is looking forward to the future without a prejudice towards what is to come, because you are to explore these things and discover them as for what they are. And so I go into it hoping for brave new worlds and new civilizations.
And new scientific ideas.
And new scientific, and they haven't. Like Kurtzman Trek thumbs its nose at, like, what, you scream and you've exploded a mineral? Okay,
Yeah,
weird.
It just respects everything that came before,
does.
basically.
But that optimism and hope is what drives me to see every new upcoming Star Trek, to say, well, maybe this one will get it right. Maybe this
And I
will
can-
course correct.
I can
Jill-
respect that, Scotty. I think you have every right to think that and do that.
It's what I was taught by Star Trek.
Yes, and I agree completely with everything Scotty just said.
Yeah, I
and
Jill-
hello to Canadian Spider-Man.
Hello,
Hello,
Canadian Spider-Man. Hello, sir.
Yes,
Jill,
he
can
said-
I ask you a question, Jill? You remember that interview with Alex Kurtzman?
Yes.
Where he specifically stated that they were going to use Star Trek as a platform for their
Yes,
agenda.
he
Do you remember
has.
that? Well, please, can you, if you don't want to, but I will, but we need to get a clip of that and play that on our stream. Every time somebody questions about Star Trek, let's play that clip. To
Do you
remind
have
them.
that clip? I'll have to
No,
go
but I
look
will
for
get
that.
it. I will get it, but I think that'll save us a lot of breath.
Well,
Yeah, I
a
would.
lot. And the thing, and I think, and it's already
Yeah,
being clipped,
you're
we
right.
already have it here. And the main thing is what Nana says. And I can play the clip. We've heard it 1,000 times. But if
Yes.
it's not entertaining for you, if you are not entertained by it, then it's not for you. And I understand protecting
that's
the
not
thing
what
that
she
you
says.
love
Well,
for. No,
that's-
she says, well, no, but she says to keep it entertaining. And if it's not entertaining, then you've dropped the ball, which I think
Yes,
for
right.
many people,
Exactly.
many people agree that it's just not entertaining anymore. It's abrasive.
Well, once again, it falls back on because that's not their agenda. They have a specific agenda, is what we're getting, and if we don't like their agenda, they're telling us not to watch it.
Then I will absolutely fulfill their wishes, and they won't have my money.
Not only that, they're telling
Right.
us that we're awful people, that we're, phobes and
Yep.
atheists and all that
Right.
nasty stuff, which we are definitely not.
The
Nope.
ad hominems are definitely what they go for
Yeah.
first, because they don't have actual debate.
And they're
Right,
they're
because-
basically
right, they-
lying when they call us that. They're totally
Right.
lying.
Well, because they don't have a
misrepresenting
right,
us.
they don't have a foot to stand on. They can't say, "Well, look, we have good stories. We have a great show. You're just not watching." They know their show is crap.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
can't
why when they're
construct a
right,
logical defense, right?
correct. That's when they start using words like that. That means they have no defense.
Sean Carter says the thing is, entertainment is not a priority for them at all. That
No,
is
it's
becoming
not.
more and more clear. All the
Kurtzman
time.
said that. I'm going to find that clip too because we need to start playing that a
Please
little more
do.
often.
Oh, Nemesis of Eden was here. and I
Nemesis of
totally
Eden.
missed
Nemesis.
him.
Hello, Nemesis.
He says, "I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Thank you, Poochie.
Good to see you there.
Stay amazing, everyone."
Will do.
We'll try.
Yes. And hello to you guys, who everybody's showing up in the chat here. Really cool to see you. And PDB says, "All I got is name calling, nothing substantial, easy to ignore."
See, I've never felt attacked by new Star Trek. I've just felt dismissed and ignored by it.
Well, it's
And-
the
Yes.
creators that do the attacking online, right?
Eh.
It's like if you don't
Right.
watch my movie
So-
or watch
so
my
just don't
TV
read
show,
Twitter.
you're a bad person.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe I just have different tastes than you do.
Well, and that's just it. Like I learned, again another thing that I learned from Star Trek. I
It'd
thought
be
that
like a
Shatner
guy-
was a buffoon in the middle of the '80s, and I learned to love the man for who he was. But I always thought it was like you're not Captain Kirk, and it's like no, he's not. And so you have to reconcile the fiction with the reality.
And the best way to do that is to watch Free Enterprise.
Hells yes.
It'd be like if you
Made by
ran a
Robert Bryan.
steakhouse. If you ran a steakhouse and you started calling, vegans nasty names on the internet because they wouldn't go and eat your steaks.
Well, and in terms of the steakhouse
Basically.
analogy,
I mean, everybody has
and-
different taste, right?
I think with the steakhouse analogy, it's one thing where what modern Star Trek is that if you walk into a steakhouse and you ask for a steak and they give you spaghetti and you're like, I didn't want this. And it's like, no, but that's what we're serving and you better like it.
You better eat it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Well, it's
where
kind of the. Oh, I wanted to see that's where. I'm sorry.
Oh, I
Oh,
want
and
to
so-
ask Spider-Man if he's working on his tan still.
He says, "Oh, Canadian Spider-Man says, please consider hitting the like button and sharing the stream on Twitter or Facebook chat. It really helps Jill's channel grow, and it's free."
Hold it out,
I never,
Canadian Spider-Man.
I never say those things, so I appreciate it when the mods say it, so I can read it.
don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell for all notifications of Jill's streams in the future. She does the original series on Tuesdays. There's there's the occasional Calto gaming stream, and every Friday we do the Plo Week Tea Time.
That's another thing I respect about Jill, though. She doesn't go out there and go like and subscribe and do all that stuff like every other bloody channel seems to do.
I
right?
feel like I should, though.
Never be
but
afraid
it
to
shows
ask for
your-
the
it
sale.
shows your respect and modesty for the viewers.
Canadian Spider-Man says, "You don't like spaghetti. You are racist and a homophobe."
I
Yeah,
just
and
don't
I
like
can only-
Italians. That's
I can't
all.
I can't eat spaghetti because I'm not Italian.
James Caserta says Gene Roddenberry is Star Trek.
Alex
AK
Kurtzman is something else.
and should get his own universe.
See, Alex
Yeah.
Kurtzman is such a hack. He's destroyed everything that he's touched, from Transformers to The Mummy to Star Trek. Like and Amazing Spider-Man 2. His track record speaks for itself. And it's funny going through the Batman movies because the last two that we've watched have been the screenplays by Akiva Goldsman, who kind of ruined
I'll be right back,
Batman.
guys. Got a phone call.
Sure.
Right. It seemed like that movie that we just watched, Batman Forever, was kind of written by some fans of Batman, and then Akiva got his hands on it. And they were like, "Oh, we want to lighten this up and we want to make it for kids." And he rewrote it for that purpose.
So they gave him a coloring book and some crayons, and he rewrote the script.
It was like the end of Batman 89 where Joker messes up all the pretty paintings. And that's what Akiva did to that script, I think.
Batman was never for kids. Even as a kid in the 70s reading the comic books, I knew that.
Yeah, but 66, Adam West, that was definitely for kids.
Yes.
That was, it was the 60s.
It respected the
You know.
intelligence of the children, though. It was
But
there
yeah,
were good stories. They were fun.
A
It was
ballpoint
fun.
banana, Jill. A ballpoint banana. What is
It
8
was
ounces
silly.
and is very dangerous in a tree? A sparrow with
I didn't
a
say it
machine
wasn't
gun.
silly.
It was
It
totally
is very
silly,
silly.
but it was fun too. And hey,
It is. Yeah.
look at the guest stars they had on that show.
Yeah, but guest stars
They
don't.
had a huge lineup. I mean, I remember the one where Vincent Price played Egghead.
And
And that
Egghead was definitely a
awesome.
respect of the intelligence of
No,
the
but
audience.
Vincent Price was such a
I'm
great
just talking
actor.
about the storytelling, the story
Fair enough.
structure. So,
I know.
something happens and the characters respect each other. They talk to each other as human beings, and they don't, even if they're derisive or they're mean to each other, their motivations. And it's
maybe
something to-
Dialogue was always pretty good. Yeah.
Like I
Even
have
when
a
it was
deep
silly.
I have a deep affection for like Star Trek and Batman and things like that, but I'm starting to think that maybe my pedestal for these properties isn't as high.
I'm not sure what that means, Scotty.
Well, I really I do adore it. I don't think I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say that Picard sucks, so I'm not going to watch Next Generation. I think that's depriving
Right.
myself of joy.
Right. I'm
Well,
capable.
I'm not saying I'll never watch it.
I'm
but-
capable of doing it.
Yeah,
But
you're capable
maybe-
of throwing the baby out with the bathwater?
No, I'm capable of still. I put what I do is I put the Star Trek Next Generation actors in a time capsule as they were in the 90s, and so in that way, I'm still able to watch the Next Generation.
I may
Well, and
go
again-
back and watch it sometime, but for the immediate future, I don't think I can.
Well, and again, this is weird because again, I'm going through the Batman, the Burton and Schumacher Batman movies, and I'm watching the audio commentaries for them as well, and they're very, they're very honest. Like with Joel Schumacher doing the audio commentary for Batman and Robin, he might as well have sat there for the entire movie, being like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." But that's not something that you would ever get with the modern studios that are putting up or propping up the properties, the intellectual properties of today, is that they'll never say this one didn't work. Even Leonard Nimoy said that it was, Star Trek: The Motion Picture didn't work because the characters didn't work and it wasn't that good. And it's like, oh, well, and that honesty about the creative process, I appreciate.
Yes, he was
as
very
opposed to,
honest.
yeah.
Well,
Excuse me, I
honestly,
have to
About
go
his
and-
character, he knew Spock, and he knew Spock was behaving very differently from where he normally did, and so that's where he was disappointed in that film.
honesty
and-
is always a good policy.
So was
anyway.
I the first time I watched it, but when I keep watching it, I realize that it was actually a fantastic movie.
I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
actually a really good film. I was lucky enough. I saw it opening night, second showing, because the first showing was sold out, of course. Went there with my cousin and a bunch of friends, and man, I'll tell you, Jill, Scotty, Pop, when they were coming up to the space dock and the Enterprise was there in all its glory, and there were tears. There were tears. It was so beautiful a moment. It's like, our heroes are back. We got it back. We fought a decade. We fought a decade to get this thing back, and they brought it back for us. It's like, man, I'm getting emotional.
That is
Sorry.
sweet. And no, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful perspective. I always love to hear from people who were there when it
It
happened.
was a special night, Jill. And then, I mean, the start with the Klingon battle cruisers. I mean, the D7s. We saw the D7s finally on a big screen in all their glory. It was like, oh, man. I mean, it wasn't a perfect film. The thing about Spock maybe wasn't quite right. And I hated the costume design. I mean, it looked like they were in pajamas, right?
Mhm, and you could see everything.
Oh, I won't go there. That's Scotty's territory.
Sean Carter said Gene was indeed Star Trek, but part of his message was that we are all Star Trek. This modern slop is top exclusionary to be considered true to Trek.
Well, True Trek.
Yes,
brings us
that's right.
together.
And that's also how Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek. He didn't do it alone. He could find talent. He was very good at finding people who were able to create the universe that he dreamed of.
Like any great creator, they go out, they find talented people, they bring them into their circle, and they say, do what you do the best things you can, and let's mesh into a team and work it out and work together.
Right, because you know your own deficiencies, and you can, and a good leader can find what
talent.
people are good.
The
Yeah,
talent.
what people are great at, and
Yeah.
it's obvious.
Well, it's like Oh, you want to read the chat there?
Yes. Stuart Mitchell says, let's not forget Alex Kurtzman's Clarice series. Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. The Hannibal Lecter show with no Hannibal in it.
Oh, my.
Yeah, right. It got beat out by some unicorn show. I forget exactly what it's
I
called.
like Silence of
and
the Lambs.
reruns. It got beat out by reruns of game shows. It was
You know you're not doing a great show when that happens. By the way, I just wanted to add one final thought on the motion picture, Jill, if I may.
Please.
I think another thing that really worked against it was its slow pacing, because a lot of it was very slow paced. And I think that's probably one of the most common criticisms I hear.
And so make sure, have you seen the director's edition?
I have not had the opportunity
That
to find
fixes
it yet.
all of that issue. That
It does.
issue, it's not a problem now.
Oh, great. Oh, I've
It's
got to
perfect.
watch it
It's
then.
a perfect movie. I
I've
love
got to
it
see
so
if I
much.
can. Wow, awesome. Thank you, Jill. I never
You're
realized
welcome.
that. I'll have to see if I can find it online somewhere, but I'm sure there's probably DVDs out there that I could get
Yes.
to. So
Yeah, you can buy a Blu-ray player.
yeah, I got to get a Blu-ray player. I still don't have one,
Uh,
and I know
I'm
that's.
sure there's a DVD of it. Is there
Yeah.
a DVD of the?
I would. Well, sometimes they do like DVD, Blu-ray combos too, right? So.
That's right. You could get one of those.
But I really want to get a DVD player because that's the only version of TOS you can get where you can flip back and forth to the original and the CGI effects. Right?
Mhm.
Because I have the
Right.
DVDs. I'll actually have 2 sets of Star Trek DVDs. I have the original ones, in the yellow, blue, and red packaging, the plastic cases that came out like years ago. Those have all the original effects in their glory, but they're not really remastered, right? So the quality it's really great, but it's not as good as it could be. And then I bought a more recent set, not knowing. Well, I mean, I got a good price on it, but I didn't realize it only has the CGI effects, which was disappointing because you know how I feel about the CGI probably by
Yeah,
now.
I do definitely. Well, some of it has aged a bit since it was made. They did the best with what they could in 2005, but it has aged, and it's either due for
Yeah.
another upgrade or.
Well, the thing is, I find like
Then they'll never
the
do it,
opening
so.
scene, space, the final frontier, right? When Shatner's given his monologue there as Kirk. And the original effects, when I see that opening scene, the star field, the space itself looks immense, and it does look like it goes on for light years, right? There's a physical reality to it that just has a depth, if you know what I mean, visually, that I just love. And when I see the CGI version of the opening credits, it just loses that. It just
Does
doesn't
it feel
have that.
smaller to you? I never saw that.
It just doesn't have the same depth, Jill, if you know what I mean. Like the
Yes.
original is like, this is a massive universe. And when I see the CGI, it's like, well, it's nice special effects, but it's just not the same feeling. I know that sounds weird. It's hard to quantify it, I guess is what I'm saying, but there
No, I
is
know
a
what you mean.
difference.
It's like looking out beyond the horizon, but instead of the horizon, this is the galaxy.
Yeah, it was just, it just seems smaller. I guess what you said is probably correct. It just seems smaller somehow. And although, there are some episodes like the Doomsday Machine where I think the end when, Kirk's flying it into the Doomsday Machine to destroy it, that is much, much better because the original episode they had like a horrible cheap AMT model in the last, and it looked totally fake, like a real model
Mhm.
kit, right? So there are moments when it does improve the episodes, but overall, I think the Enterprise in the CGI looks kind of fake to my eyes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I know you probably haven't watched a lot of the
At least
original.
though it was made with love, though.
Yeah. Have you
That's
watched
the
the
only
original
good.
effects at all ever yet?
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Sean Carter
that's cool.
says, shameless plug. I soft launched my channel last night. The Sci-Fi Model Guy. Any subs
Oh.
would be greatly appreciated. There is a teaser video up, but more videos coming soon. Hey, that's great. Let me
Wow.
get your channel link. I'm going to find out where your channel is. I'll go to your channel and I'll grab your little channel name here.
So I take it this is a channel about building sci-fi models?
No, it's about
Yes.
hot girls on alien planets.
Well, that would be. I'd sub to that too.
Oh, Scotty's here. Hi.
Yeah, Snoopy's being needy.
Well,
Sci-fi
you know,
model guy. I got him.
well, we are going to wrap up in 10 minutes anyway, so you can go play with Snoopy.
So
and
Snoopy
and
needs-
so I can go do all of my chores and stuff.
Snoopy needs some attention, does he?
Yes, and let's hope that he plays pleasantly. Otherwise, I'm going to put him in a pillowcase and throw him in a pond.
No, you won't.
I'm gonna go catch him. I'll drive up to Canada.
You know, one of these days, I'm
save
going to
your
teach him how
dog.
to breathe underwater.
I'm not gonna see you at all. I'm just gonna go save your dog.
Jill's driving for a week to save Snoopy. I love it.
Put him in a basket. Put him on my front porch.
Yeah. I'll ring the doorbell and run away.
Put a little
Exactly.
note. Please
Love
adopt this
Jill.
poor dog. He comes from a bad home, but he will love you if you love him. Oh, cool! I got
Subscribe to Sean Carter.
Already done, Sean.
Wait, I just posted his. Yeah, I subscribed too. So everybody subscribe to him because he's so cool. He makes really cool stuff. Look at it.
Oh,
Look at
wow.
this. Look
That's
at that.
Polar
Look how
Light.
gorgeous that is. I already need one of these, and
Wowza!
I don't even.
He's only got
Oh,
16
wow.
subscribers now too. Man,
Yeah, and he's
Sometimes-
doing what's great for subscribers. He's doing shorts. I need to do more shorts.
you could probably do clips out of some of your streams. Well, you did that one about that Christmas one about dating tips that Scotty was.
Yeah, but I didn't make it a short. I should have made it a short.
Wasn't it a minute long or something though?
I have another one that I could make a Scotty, but I haven't done it yet.
You should take some of the, the funny bits out of some of these live
That's-
streams.
That's my idea that I'm going to do at some point, but it's really tough to go through
Is
3
it?
hours of content.
Oh,
it kind
yeah,
of is.
true. Well, you know what you should do is you should make a note of the time when
Yes, right.
something brilliant
Timestamps.
occurs. Yeah.
Yes,
and
I do. Yeah, I've been doing that.
Yeah.
But I just haven't
I
gotten
think
around to it
that
because
would
I get
grow
so
your channel.
busy. Because
Well,
I get so
yeah,
busy.
tell me about that.
working on the live streams that I already love doing. I'm having
There's
so
never-
much fun.
There's never enough time, is there?
That getting around to the edited content is something I haven't prioritized as much as I should. And PDB says it's hard to do CGI when you're doing one show a week. Those animators must have had meth on tap. What? Who did? I don't know what it is. What he's talking about. Because I'm not really. I kind of get what PvP means. CGI tries to look hyper real instead of as real life.
Yeah, I just find the Enterprise looks just kind of plasticky, if that's a word, and kind of fake in the CGI. Whereas the original Enterprise is like, sure, I mean, they're like, 50-something-year-old effects, and maybe they're a little dated, but there's still a reality. Well, since it was a 12-foot physical actual model they built, right, for the scenes, there is a physical reality there that's still, to my eyes anyway, hold up. I know I'm like, looking at an old girlfriend and still seeing the girl I knew 50 years ago. But
Well, no, it makes sense to love it the way it was made because that's
Yeah.
how it started, and
When-
that's why we're here today.
Well, it's the-
I
it's
wouldn't
the
have my
real-
channel right now without Star Trek.
it's the real authentic version, right? And it
or
always
without
will be.
Pop Culture Curator telling me about the time that he got to see DeForest Kelly talk about his poetry, and that's what inspired me to my first live stream.
Yeah, I would have loved to have met DeForest. He seemed like such a sweet man. Actually,
Yeah.
I just want to mention, of all the as much as I love Kirk and Spock and they're the top, characters in my mind, there's a big part of my heart that belongs to DeForest Kelly because I kind of relate to him as a person because I'm kind of that kind of emotional, fly off the handle kind of guy sometimes where it's like what?
You know what? You're right, because he also considered all of the Star Trek fans also like his family, and
Yeah.
so you kind of have that kind of sentimentality too. And
I'm
hello
very
in the
sentimental.
chat to Rancor Steve. He says,
Hey, Steve.
"Howdy, everyone." And I would love to
hi,
stay in
Rank.
chat
Wow,
for about.
Ranker Steve. Wow, we have a major guest here.
I know, yeah. He shows up on Doomcock's channel on Wednesdays. He's a huge part of Pop Culture Breakdown, and it's really cool to see you around, Rancor Steve.
Yeah, hi, Ranker. Yeah, he was on
And
Wednesday
he has
night.
his own channel also. I don't let's see. I have it, but let me see. I need
I
to get
think I'm
back to
subbed to
my
Rancor. I think I am already subbed
my
to
list
Rancor.
of channel names. I was remiss a bit with promoting everybody's channel who's been coming in. I've had so many great people today, like Dalek and Cardinal Sin. So I'll put their
Cardinal Sin was
links.
here? Heavens.
Yeah, Cardinal Sin
Cardinal
was
Sin
here
was
for a
here?
minute.
Oh, I
Yeah,
missed
I
that.
sent him a link, but I guess today he's busy. But yeah, I did just see him fly by.
Now, how many? You must have had a lot of guests in the chat today, then.
And I
Jill.
did, yes. And I would love to stay and talk some more because we just got into a really great conversation here in the past 30 minutes to an hour. Although the whole thing was great. But one of my better shows, I would say. And of course it's always thanks to the panel that I have who makes the conversation lively and interesting. So thanks to Scotty, R37.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Pleasant Valley Picker, CA, and also thank you to Pop Culture Curator, who I started my channel with and who continues to provide amazing knowledge and insight into pop culture today. So his name change from Super Blubberpuss was well received.
Well, yeah, thank you for inviting me, Jill. It's always an honor to get an invite. I really do appreciate it.
So I'm just looking for Rancor Steve's.
I do love being on the Friday streams here because it's always just such fun to chat with you guys and agree and disagree and tell things we know about and share our stories about things we did in the past, and yeah, it's just great.
It's always fun to accept your apologies.
Well, I know you're always wrong, Scotty, so I don't take it personal.
Oh, right back at you, baby.
Oh, by the way,
I'm sorry for having good taste.
Yeah, me too.
I only have one criticism of Jill's streams here on Fridays. They're too damn short.
I know. Well, it's just unfortunate that real life also has to occur.
Yes,
in my life.
you're.
I have to exit the matrix every once in a while.
You are a wife and a mother, and you have responsibilities.
I do, and that's my cue that it's almost time to go. PDB says, "Oh, Jill, by 1 week, I mean the turnaround time on Star Trek episode production. It's a wonder they got any done at all." You're right. Okay, yes, you're right. Absolutely, we're reviewing this on Tuesday, and the production is so tight that just being off by 1 day completely ruined one episode.
Well, that wasn't the only thing that ruined it.
No, I know, but I am sort of joshing about it. But
I love that
being
stream,
behind
by the
on
way.
schedule completely ruined the alternative factor.
You guys were way better than the episode.
Things. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm just being honest.
Rancor says, "I'm glad I caught to catch your show live." And so if you want to check out Rancor Steve on YouTube, here's his YouTube. If you want to connect with him on Twitter, I have that too.
Actually, if Rancor ever drops in again, Jill, it might be kind of fun to send him a link and get him on the panel here.
Yeah, right. If he had, if I had another hour, I would send him a link.
Definitely. That would be really cool.
Oh no, an error occurred, it says.
What? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me? Yeah, you can.
I can hear you here.
Okay, so I want to thank everybody who've been here today. Who's here? Who else was on the panel? Oh yeah, Tony Stark was on the panel. So I think that was the only other one we had on the panel, right?
Yeah, I think it was just 5 of us for a while there.
So thank you, Tony Stark. I hope you're enjoying your party, playing cards, and drinking Elijah Craig. I'll see you later on Friday Night Frolics. See you in the chat. I'll be moderating because Doomcock is amazing and he deserves all of what he has.
And
I hope and more, obviously.
He's on like 4 hours from now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he starts at 7:30 Central Time.
Right. So that's 2 hours ahead of me. So right. Yeah, that's about right.
So thanks to Stuart Mitchell. It was really great to hear from you. He says Alex Kurtzman was also set to reboot a whole series of classic horror stories as part of the Dark Universe franchise. after the failure of the Mummy, this seems to be abandoned. Yeah, the Universal wanted to restart all its horror stuff, and
That's
he
weird.
single-handedly destroyed it.
Well, they've tried to do it a couple of times, and when
Well, the
the Mummy
originals
is terrible.
The originals are so damn good. I don't know how you could really improve on them, really.
Well, updating them for a modern audience is kind of interesting.
Oh, there's a modern audience video on Critical Drinkers channel. You should take a look at, Scotty.
Probably not.
The only good thing about the fact that I have to leave is that one of my favorite channels on YouTube is Bird of Prey 5's channel. So the thing is that he's going to be live in a few minutes. So once I go off the air, you still have something really cool to listen to. I'm sure he's going to have some more Friday the 13th content for you, and of course talk about other stuff. He talks about any topic and is able to talk to himself by himself and the chat, and in such a great manner that it is highly entertaining. And I love when someone sends him a super chat. He has little clips and stuff, and I want to set that up myself. He's one of my channel inspirations along with Clobburn Times, so of course I put Clobby there too, and Raquel, because those three people are inspiring to me in terms of the kind of things that I like to think about, the kinds of things I like to create myself.
Raquel doesn't actually have a channel, though, does she, Jill?
No, so the reason why I promote Raquel is not because of her channel. I promote her. She does have one, but the only reason she has one is to promote her books.
Oh, so it's just
her stories.
Is there a link? I mean, I would,
Yes, if you want to read her short stories, you can go here. I need to start promoting her Patreon.
Oh, but she's not on YouTube. I mean,
yes, she is on YouTube. I'll send that to you later. I'm trying to wrap up.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
But no, it's okay.
Well, I have stuff to do too. I got a bunch of. I actually, sell on eBay part-time to supplement my meager earnings from my job, and I actually got a whole bunch of CD sales this past week. So I got to get them to the post office this afternoon.
Hey, that's good to make a little extra cash. That's what you do. That's why you're called Pleasant Valley Picker.
Yeah, exactly. I was like another
it is
20 or
cool
30 bucks.
You got a real meaning behind that name.
Yeah,
it might be kind of fun. Like, do you ever do those things like on the TV show where you go to an old house and you look through stuff and things like that?
Not generally, but I actually did do a deal on Facebook.
Oh, you dropped out. Scotty, are you still there?
I'm still here. Yep.
Okay. I lost PvP right in the middle of him talking about the transactions.
Facebook Marketplace transactions. Yeah. Which is great.
That is kind of interesting because he looks for things of value and sells them. And it's kind of a fun, kind of profitable hobby.
Hard robot PvP.
Oh yeah, he's roboting a lot.
There's like some kind of horse magnet.
Okay.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
Sorry, PvP, we can't hear you, man.
Contacted them, and it was like, hey, these things do Domo, right?
Domo.
So I got I contacted them. They're really
and oh no.
Okay, there you go. I was trying to figure out how to mute him anyway. Not because of anything he's saying, but because he was roboting incredibly strongly and I could not get anything out. And so sorry we lost you, Pleasant Valley Picker. But we'll see you next time. And let's see, I'm trying to copy Clobby's channel because it didn't show up in the chat. I gotta update my stream elements because I definitely want to promote Clobby because I love his channel. And also Bird of Prey 5s didn't get in there, did it? I'm sure it didn't.
I thought I saw you put the prompt in.
Yeah, I did, but it didn't listen.
It didn't? Bad bot.
So after this stream, go head over to Bird of Prey 5 for his stream.
Yes.
That's cool. Good stuff. Oh dear. Yeah, you got kicked out, but you're roboting really badly. So PvP, try to see if you can test your mic to see if everything's working now or not. And let me know in the private chat if it's working again because I'm trying to wrap up and I need to be able to speak. And thank you for joining us, James Caserta, who said he both loves me and hates me. And so that is those were fun chats to read. And also all of your other chats were cool. So thank you, James Caserta.
Yeah.
He says, check out S New World's alternate music. Oh my God. I don't know. He's trying to get me to get angry because I got happy after I stopped watching that teaser trailer. I mean, after we stopped talking about it anyway, but I did enjoy the discussion though at the same time. That's the dichotomy of it. I don't know. I enjoy the friendship that we have talking about things that are important to us.
Yeah. I enjoy talking about it as well.
And we don't always have to agree.
That's true.
And thank you for showing up here, PDB. That means a lot to me because you are so intelligent that this show is something that is engaging your interest means that I'm doing something right.
Well, Jill, you're practically perfect in every way.
Thank you, but I don't believe it.
That's fine.
Donnie Pearson, thank you so much. He's Donnie Pearson. Check him out on all his things. He's on, what is he? That art channel, that art website. You know what I'm talking about?
DeviantArt?
DeviantArt, yes. Check out Donnie Pearson on DeviantArt. He makes art. He makes music.
Yes.
He has a channel. He has a YouTube channel too.
Yes.
So that's cool. And Stuart Mitchell, thank you for being here, Stuart Mitchell.
Did you give a big up to Eugene Bird as well?
Eugene Bird, thank you so much for being here, Eugene Bird.
Thanks for keeping the lights on, bud.
Yeah. No, you're very encouraging. It makes me, your presence makes me happy.
Do I sound okay now?
Yes, you sound better now.
I don't know what happened there, Jill. Like everything was fine for, like the whole stream, and all of a sudden my internet just, it wasn't like my internet crashed, but StreamYard crashed. And so I had to restart, and then I tried to come back on just on, StreamYard itself, and I couldn't get that to work. So what I ended up doing
now.
Yeah, I went back to my email and just joined your original link from earlier today, and that worked fine. So
yes. And Canadian Spider-Man, thank you for being here. Brian Hepburn.
Canadian Spider-Man, I'm envious every day. I saw your waves on the Pacific Mexico coast, and I was like, I want to be there.
Well, what Canadian Spider-Man does is really brilliant. He works really hard, and then he goes and spends that money traveling around the world and doing really cool stuff. And now it's Mexico. And he went back to Canada for 10 days to see his family, but he's going to go back to Mexico until like April. So
nice.
His spirit of adventure is really inspiring too.
Also, his spirit of staying away from cold winter.
Thank you also to Nemesis of Eden. And Admiral Teague, absolutely. Admiral Teague, I need to figure out how to chat at you. Like, do you have Discord or something? Because I do enjoy a conversation with you. So I need Star Trek in particular, obviously. And Lord Thoth, thank you for being here.
And
I always enjoy seeing you around.
Donnie Pearson's YouTube channel is in the chat now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Job.
You can show it if you like, because I'm not down there. I'm trying to scroll up.
Where am I?
And thank you for being here, the Goat Father. And Wolfie. Hey, Wolfie was here. I think I missed Wolfie. Oh, no.
I saw Wolfie. I didn't say hello, though. I wasn't sure.
Oh,
hey, Wolfie.
Yeah. No,
Sorry,
Wolfie is
we missed
fantastic. No, Wolfie shows up on Clobburn Times Saturday Night Star Trek, and he's fantastic.
This must be one of the biggest groups of chatters you've ever got on a stream, Jill.
This is one of the bigger ones, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate seeing everybody. And Dark Helmet was also here. Hey.
Your stream is growing and getting more popular.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dark Helmet.
Yeah, and if I missed anybody, sorry about that. And Mega Cropper, hey. And Snortapoopus, obviously, that's a good bear.
Oh,
feed him all the fish.
all
Smarty.
and
Lemon
Todd
pie.
Michael.
Todd
Hi,
Michael's
Lemon
here.
Pie.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're just remembering the people who made the show. And
And
Dalek 451. And I think it was really fun, engaging chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a real nice wide ranging of subjects today. Like, we were talking about military stuff, and then we got into pop culture. It was great.
James Caserta made the biggest joke I've ever seen on my channel. You will overtake Jim Cook in my wildest nightmares. That would be a nightmare. That's too many people. No,
Well, you
no thanks.
only got about 330,000 to go there, Jill.
I don't know.
By Christmas?
No, by Christmas. By Christmas, I'll be happy if I have 600. No way I'm going to have 300,000.
Well, I bet you can do it. Actually,
that's impossible. That
never say never.
never. Anyway,
That was funny.
I loved being here today. So, my problem is I don't have a thing to say at the end of my shows to say goodbye. And I need to come up with something.
You need a catchphrase.
I need a catchphrase. I've been thinking that for a while, but I just can't come up with something that means something to me, that is important to me.
Maybe live long and prosper.
Yeah, no, that doesn't. I tried it. It doesn't work for me. I do believe it.
Okay.
And I will salute you if you salute me, but
Yeah, well, my cat can't quite manage that at the moment, but in my mind,
Right.
I salute you.
so
Hey,
I'll just.
how about,
come on, PDB.
come on, Scotty.
I'm on your side, but I don't think she'll say that.
What did I say? What?
No,
what?
not you. It was PDB in the
thank
in
you.
the chat. This
That
is
is
Jill.
so funny.
Yeah, our names are very
You're right.
similar.
I can't say that. That is funny though. I am aware of what it means.
Yes. All right. I have to excuse myself.
Yes.
And thank you again, Jill. Thank you, Pop Culture Curator, and thank you, PvP.
Oh, that's right.
I'll see you guys in the future.
Yeah,
My
nice
Pawn
to see you
Bar
too,
is
Scotty.
in approximately 1 month, but trust me, I've had sex several times over the past 7 years. See you later.
That's fantastic. See you
Bye,
next
Scotty.
time, Scotty. Have a great day.
Cheers.
Oh,
And
Jill,
I really have to run to.
check out the YouTube emojis. I just posted something for you
Okay,
right at the
I
towards
really
the end.
gotta go. I really gotta run.
Okay.
I stayed too long.
Okay. Well, bye. Awesome as always, Jill. You have fun, and I will head out now then.
Yes, and I will play a few videos to see.
Oh,
us
well,
out
maybe I'll
and
stay for
make
that.
sure make sure to subscribe to Scotty R37's channel, which is the Phantasmagorium Show, which he has on with his friends. He's talking about Batman right now every week. You like Batman, you're gonna like the Phantasmagorium Show. So go ring the bell for that. And also subscribe to Pop Culture Curator. Also, if you like Star Trek. He talks about the animated series on Monday, Gilligan's Island on Wednesday, and he's going to start using Tuesday nights to talk about some horror stuff if you like horror. So, and then PvP posts some music stuff. So I'm just doing the promos for y'all because I am way
Thank you, Jill.
behind
Appreciate it.
what I should actually be doing because I'm just having too much fun here, and it's no fun to end a stream. But that is what I have to do, and end it I shall. I will see you guys next time. I will play the Nana Visitor clip that Scotty was talking about earlier. So here it is.
Okay. Bye, Jill.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Friday. Happy Friday the 13th.
You too. We'll see you on DC later.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to one of your original questions. What was so good about what did Star Trek do right? And Andrea Kindred was, I think, the executive assistant to Gene Kuhn on the original show. And I recently got to interview her, and she said something that I think was so important. Someone asked her, what was the best thing about Star Trek? And she said, it was entertaining. So it allowed a huge number of people in to listen to new ideas and concepts. I wish some shows remembered the entertaining part.
Yeah.
You do need to welcome people in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Captain's log, stardate 3113.2. The Enterprise, out of control. Maximum warp power in reverse propels us backward in time.
UFO is picking up speed and climbing. I'm going in closer.
Try and beam that pilot aboard. Computer, you will not address me in that manner. Compute.
Compute it, dear.
It also has an unfortunate tendency to giggle.
What about Jim? He's down there alone, probably under arrest. He doesn't have a communicator, and we can't locate him or beam him back aboard without one.
Sabotage, espionage, unauthorized entry, burglary. I am going to lock you up for 200 years.
Those poor people.
I would never live in the 24th century. I fucking hate the next generation. Only the original series, only classic.
Look, I'm a doctor, not an escalator. Spock, give me a hand.
Hold on, she's showing some videos. I gotta. Don't hang up though. I'm gonna be right here. I'm not hanging out. She's ending her stream that I was on, and I wanted to say goodbye to her. And she's promoting another one of her friends, who I'm not particularly friends with, but oh well.